Hey chaps, welcome to episode 20 of Nemcast, and today I'm joined by Neg again, same as last time, pretty much same setup, but you're going to be chatting shit and ranting and raving. So, how you been, dude? You alright?
I had no fucking heating. Not a single bit of heating.
It always happens around Christmas as well, or on the run up to.
Well, to me, Halloween is fucking Christmas. But no, it gets that time when you go, I'm a little bit chilly, which is the first time of year my wife's hot. And you can turn the heating on, fuck all happens, and then you realise the boiler's fucked up. So we bought the place, 3 years ago. We've not had a new boiler installed. You know, I can live that heating, need my warm water, need my bath, need my bubbles and my soap, my rubber duck and my bath wank. And unfortunately, I got stuck in a position. No, not candles, just bath wank. You don't need hot wax on the tip of your bell end. You don't. Because what are you going to wipe up? No, it gets too confusing. So we get the dude round. It's a friend of mine. He's a fully certified gas engineer. It's his main job. He comes along. He does everything he's got to do. And final moment. No. We think the solenoid's broken after 12 hours of fitting. And now four grand in the hole. I'm like, okay. And now we've got no fucking hot water either. So I've been washing out of a fucking kettle for a few days. And is it too cold or too hot? It's never right from the kettle. It's just never fucking right. So yeah, that was the problem that I had. And finally this morning at 6:30, the gas engineer turns up and went, the board's fucked. There you go, sorted. So I've been up since 6:30.
I bet that's been a problem with your pets as well, because you've got reptiles and all sorts. I know they've got obviously temp controlled vivs, but
they're fine. They're more than happy. They're cool with whatever you do. But it does mean that I can't have the Rottweiler running around like a fucking idiot, because she's going to be 50-50. Am I going to eat that cunt over there touching something on the wall, or am I going to be lying on his feet going, rub my tummy? Look. Doesn't my vagina look like a little tiny pear? And I don't need that. I've got things I've got to do. So I had to put the fucking Rottweiler up in the bathroom for fucking 4 hours and then sneak her out when he goes out to go for a pee and bring her back in again. Then she gets lonely and I've got to babysit the Rottweiler and play with her. And you can't play with a Rottweiler in a bathroom. There's a lot going on. There's a lot fucking going on.
You're behind on your builds quite a bit. How many days have you lost on your production as such?
Oh, no. That's the only place I have fucking heating. So I spent a long fucking time. And all the little jobs I had lined up for 2 weeks' time, I've just done fucking all these little jobs just because it's fucking warm, you know?
All of a sudden, your missus has shown great interest in what you're doing that day because it's warm in that room.
Yeah, basically. I had a customer turn up. I've had 2 customers in a row turn up where people have just said, this guy does all my guns, or this guy's done all of my friends' guns, or whatever. And I've had 2 in a row turn up having never heard of me. I've answered emails. I've been my normal shitty self. And generally speaking, people want the production value when they arrive. So I have to act like a fucking a mentally handicapped person like I am. And they turned up and they're very taken aback by the absolute fucking shit that's coming out of my face.
They're not prepared for the character.
No, they've got no idea because I'm like this all the fucking time. So it's difficult when they're right in front of you because you've got a big smile on your face while you're being a cunt. When you just see in the downward view of that'll be a good fucking screenshot for you, won't it? Blow job. So they're coming to you and they're seeing for the first time this absolute fucking mayhem monster doing his thing. And it's like, are we dropping our guns off with somebody who's completely mentally handicapped? And it's like, yeah, you are. And yeah, I've got 2 of my regular customers stood outside the workshop chatting to him. And he's terrified of these 2 because one of them's screaming nonsense with one eye. I'm not even lying.
To be fair, my customer base isn't a great deal better. You know, I've had customers come down here when I've had some of my sponsored players down here, and I think, maybe you're a liability sponsoring you because you're fucking mental around other people sometimes. It's fucking I know exactly how you feel.
Because a customer might randomly shout something. Like one of them just jumped out screaming something, and I'm not going to repeat it. And it's like, I know them for fucking 3 years now, so I know them. They've it's got to the point where they're friends, and it's like, you bastards. You just literally jumped out and screamed that at a random person who's never met me, and it turns out they don't even fucking know who I am, man. They don't even fucking know who I am.
It's even worse if they say they bring the kids along because they're passing by and they're dropping the rifles off and some shit like that happens. It's so fucking embarrassing.
I've got one little dog who's trying to rub the kids and play with them. The big dog's trying to eat the children, as far as they're concerned, anyway. Because the only people that Gozer is happy with, the only people that she cares about, are children. She's like, I love children. They're wonderful. Other animals, yeah, great. Humans could go either way. You never know. So yeah, it's fucking interesting. It's really fucking interesting. So I am wired on about 400 coffees, and now I've been making videos this afternoon. Sat in a pub, making some videos. Had 3 Guinness. That was pretty good. And now I'm on the cocktails doing this fucking nonsense. So you better get more than 5 fucking views next time, or I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
You fuck off.
I'm going to whip you with the back of my bollocks.
I am happy with 10 views and 1 comment. That is me happy. It's still a very small channel. And I always, you mentioned you sort of tend to make friends with your customers. That's something I've noticed. I always tend to sort of befriend my customers. You tend to just gather people. It's like a regular thing, isn't it? You end up chatting to them. And do you do what I do, where you'll do a build and you'll sort of not pester them, but you'll say, when's your next game day? And it'll be in there, in your head.
Yeah.
You'll remember when the next game day is, and you'll message them. Like 5
no, I don't message them,
obviously not
because they're going to message me.
Well, I normally go, how was your first day with it? Was it all right, mate? Yeah, happy? And then I just sort of tentatively stare at
Chrono funny on 0.12s.
I normally get the, it was really good, mate. Yeah, thank you. But there was this little thing of, I'll go, right. They'll say, oh, yeah, just my battery died at like 2 o'clock.
You can't.
Yeah, pretty much.
They go, I had one little issue, and you're like, what?
Yeah,
what was the issue? There was a guy not taking his hits. I've seen Freddy Krueger lick some chick's face down the phone, and I wish that I had the ability on a Sunday evening or a Saturday evening to whip somebody in the face with my bollocks from down the phone. That'd be really good.
You know what's even fucking worse? You message them saying, how was your game day with it? And you're happy with everything, or even if it's a month later. They say, yeah, it was all right. I just had this little issue. And you go, okay, what was it? And then they fucking don't message you back to the next day. So you sat there all night.
Oh, fuck, don't. I've got a video that's waiting. It's been waiting for a year now. And I don't think I'm going to have a reason to post it. It's going to be on my Patreon regarding a complete dickhead customer who bought a second-hand SRC off his mate for like 40 quid or something, 60 quid, sub 80 quid, definitely. And he sent it over to me, and I did everything, and he's just squeezing every penny out of the build. And then he got the gun back, and he was like, this is terrible. It's the worst thing I've ever fired in my life. Like, the noise, it sounds so different now. I mean, I regret this. I could have done this better myself. And I'm like, hang on, what? Because he's messaged me at like 20 past midnight, and I'm like, what? 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 Are you joking? What? And I'm like, well, what's the problem? What problems are you having? He's like, well, when I fire it with no ammo in, it makes a slapping sound. I'm like, why are you firing it with no ammo in? He goes, well, that's not even the big problem. Big problem is that, now the power is intermittent. And I'm like the velocity or the electrical power? The electrical power is intermittent. Anyway, I've got work in the morning. I've got to look after school kids. So I'll contact you tomorrow evening. And I'm like, no, you contacted me at fucking 20 past motherfucking midnight, bitch. What the fuck is this?
That is a night of no sleep and a day
I was
of
like,
anxiety the next day.
I was speaking to Josh at Airsmith. He had the same thing, right? So I was like, okay, send it over to me and I'll check it all out. Don't fire it with no ammo. It will sound different when you're firing it. And I've got this video prepped because it's me, because whenever it happens infrequently, it's like I probably one every couple of months where they go, it's not quite right. I get it back. And even then, I open the box. It's normally user error. And I can't understand it. I know you played it. I'm a sensei.
No, I heard that too.
Yeah.
Right. I heard it. I thought,
it's good on it. Yeah. I love that fucking track. It's just a great video. And so I open the box on video, and I start playing "Shining Happy People," Because I open the box. I take the gun out, and I'm like, something's wrong in my head here. And I look at it, and it takes a moment to twig, and I'm like, that's not a parent hybrid Dean's connector, because there's a black, and this is a red Dean's connector, and it's soldered on like shit. So I've gone, typey, dude. Either, it's just me, either you tell me about this. No. Tell me. And he's gone, oh yeah, so the wires, they were too long. So I cut them down and I put a new Dean's connector on there. I went, right, stop. It's got a different sound when it fires now, yeah? Yes, right. You had a really cheap plastic cylinder head and a really cheap plastic piston, and now you've got an aluminium CNC cylinder head with a rubber pad and a POM piston head. It's going to sound different. How does it sound when you fire it with ammo in? And he's like, and he paused. I'm like, and my next question, because I knew this was going, my next question is, Wah! My next question is, you say the wires are too long. Did you either not test the gun ever before you decided your wires were too long and then cut the connectors off and then soldered on a new shitty Dean's connector you've got off something else that's melted and is basically blue tacked on at this point, before you ever tested it? Or did you test it first, decide that it wasn't working properly and the power was intermittent, and instead of contacting me, then you cut the wires and shortened it? Because I'm willing to wager that you cut the wires before you ever tested it. And he was like, well, I knew the wires were too long, so I cut them down. I'm like, look what you've done. You've got a melted fucking 15-year-old Dean's connector with blobs and globules. What? This is not warranty. This is a fucking piss take. And I remember saying to him so clearly, this is a fucking piss take. You message me at 20 past midnight, you arouse my interest and worry me, and then you go, oh, I'm too busy to talk to you after you've messaged me, motherfucker. Are you crazy? And I said, yeah, this is not warranty, and I'm going to charge you an hour to fix this. And then I literally put a plastic cylinder head and a different piston head. I went, there we go, it's working flawlessly. Let me know what you think. He got it back and went, oh, it's really good now. I was like, have you rewired it? No. I was like, yeah, that's fucking why. I've never heard back from the guy. Never heard back from the cunt. But I'm waiting for him to make a shitty comment ever so I can go, I'm going to drop this 25-minute video of you showing what an absolute fucking penis customers can be. Because you are a fucking penis, my friend. Like,
yeah,
you could...
I do not envy that position. Thankfully, I've not been in that position yet. I think it's purely because you do way more builds than me. This is my sort of second part-time job.
Yeah.
I just don't have the time.
When it's your full-time job, it's every day. It's like every single day somebody gets the gun back.
2 or 3 builds a day.
Yeah. Like today I've done 3. So
how do you do your review system? Is it like a Facebook reviews or is it word
just
of mouth?
Facebook? Or... Only because some fuck nugget in some country that I've never even been to, or I don't anywhere, like Latvia or something. I don't know. I've never been there. I'm sure it's lovely. I've never been there. I don't know anybody from there, but somebody disliked what I said on YouTube in a reply to one of his shithead comments and started a Google review page, which I had taken down because I've never met you and I've never worked for anybody in Latvia. No, you're not going to start a Google review page saying don't trust this person because you don't like a comment on the internet, because that's I will walk to Latvia so I can bite you on the face. I fucking will, honestly. That's bullshit. Don't do that. If you've got a legitimate thing, then fine. But if you are just being a cunt on the internet, don't try and fuck up someone's business, because it's you know.
I mean, I've only got a Trustpilot at the moment because I figured, if I was going to do it, I feel like a Trustpilot thing's quite a genuine sort of way to get reviews. And you can link it to other things. I'll try to do it.
But no one looks at good reviews. They're not looking for anything nice people are saying. They're looking for that one person that goes, oh, he's got a Trustpilot. I'm going to leave a comment going, he sexually molested my cat. And that's what you'll see. That's what comes up. That's what matters the most.
This is the problem, isn't it? You're going to be looking for bad reviews. Thankfully, touch wood, like I've not had one yet. I try to make sure very autistically that I give them no excuse. Normally, when I do a build, because I've got the luxury of time, I'm not earning a full wage from Nemtac like you're earning your living. What I'll tend to do is take one of the builds I've done and take it for, if I'm going for a marshalling on my local site, I'll take it for a run during half the day, take it for a game to make sure I put at least 3,000 rounds through it. At least that way I know it's going to be.
Mine are more like 400 or 500 rounds because I want to make sure I bed the hot rubbers in. Like Maple Leaf don't need bedding in, but they might develop feed issues on the lips. So now that I'm using the dependent on build, I'm using the thing that I can't, the Friction Pro Quantum rubbers, and
the orange thing.
Yeah, they sometimes need bedding in, and so I make sure they're definitely flying straight. But that's about it. I don't want to put 1 million rounds through someone's gun because then it's a perpetual cycle. You put 3,000 rounds through the gun. What if the barrel's now got dirty? You've got to clean the barrel. What if you've disrupted the hot rubber and you've got to clean it, put some rounds through it, and it's just a constant cycle, and it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It's that thing that we mentioned in the last podcast where, I'll say I prefer Jeftron, you prefer Perrin. It swings roundabouts each their own. I find it works this way, you find it works that way. Long as at the end of the day, the customer gets the correct service, it matters not, does it? That's now on the note of hot rubbers. It's got my brain turning now. I had a job come in. It was that 249. I kindly trapped. I trapped my fucking finger under a 249 dust cover this morning. Like fucking 6 in the morning.
That is the biggest reason I don't fucking do support guns because that motherfucker keeps biting you. But I don't want to argue putting the spring and the pin back in.
Yeah, I was really, really fucking sad this morning because I come in with my coffee, sat there.
You come in your coffee. Do you know what? That'd be a good start to a day. That'd be the first time in days where my fucking penis has been warm in my fucking place. I had to put it in my coffee. So if you've come in your coffee, that's a better fucking start of the day. I bet it wasn't 6:30 in the morning you were coming in your coffee.
But anyway, I sit down, hand on the gun. I thought, I'll just take the barrel off, hand there, undo the barrel. It just goes slam onto my finger. I went.
It's not even spring-loaded. Spring-loaded is like, that's annoying, but when it's heavy.
It's just, and it's in that sort of that pinch point right in the corner where it's got the most pressure. Just fuck it. Oh, it put a real tone on my day. That did.
It must have been like this time last year that I got my finger in the top of the open gearbox. Was it start of, I can't remember, but it was, days phased away.
You're a fucker for hurting yourself, you are.
Oh, I know, right? But I took the entire tip of my fucking finger off inside someone's gun, but I made sure that I got the tip out of, we've all heard that as well, just the tip. Yes, tonight, but just a tip. It's your birthday. And I had to weasel that out through the gearbox, without opening the gearbox, weasel it out and fucking go to the hospital.
While the adrenaline is still strong, so you're not shaking like a shitting dog licking piss off a nettle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of nettles, have you seen that video of that dude? He's a really old boy. He's in his fucking late 60s, and he's stinging his arsehole with stinging nettles on the internet for views. Have you seen that?
No.
It's fucking funny. It's really funny. He goes,
"That's enough internet for me today," kind of thing.
It's really good. Not only have I seen it numerous times, I've shown other people, but I've watched it for my own amusement as well. Like, he's just there, just in his back garden, this old boy stinging nettles on his arsehole, going, "Oh,
it's you, isn't it?"
That's his reaction. It's not me.
Fucking back to the subject before you fucking completely derail us. Hot rubbers. So this 249, it had a Promi purple in it. They're the only hot rubber I consistently get across my bench that is fucking shit every time. It just doesn't work in most guns. I don't know why people.
Have you been AliExpress and seen their Prometheus rubbers? Because a lot of retailers all over the fucking world are buying those rubbers, and you can go onto AliExpress. What's different? It's a knockoff. The thing is, how many Promi rubbers have you seen? And it's like there's been a mold in a mold issue where there's like a pube or something in the mold, and there's a little line, a squiggly line in the rubber. That is a real Promi rubber, and they make fucking thousands at a time. That's a real rubber, and it's all right. It's good. We know it's good. You get one that's mint condition, and then you go, and you compare it to another actual Promi rubber with the mold line, the mold weird wiggly thing, and you realise it's a slightly off colour. Loads of knockoffs, fucking loads of knockoffs. But you can't get confused by AliExpress, because if you go to AliExpress and look at their Garda hot rubbers, and they've got Garda hot rubbers for like £2, free shipping, you go, it must be a knockoff. Nope. Nope. It's just because Garda's rubbers are now coming straight out of the same factory the SEMA are using, because they've got the same little letters and numbers on top of the rubber. It's a fucking minefield. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose one way to put it is, because you always see the question online, what's the best hot rubber to get for this build? And you go, whatever suits the hop unit. It's because I've had to answer this question a few times. I'll tend to stock maybe 3 or 4 different hot rubbers. My 2 favourites at the moment are the Maple Leaf MR 60 degree, not the silicone one before I put 50p in you. You can't even leave not teching and still injure yourself somehow.
You've no idea. You've got no idea. Honestly, it's so hard being me.
As well, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. Like the one-eyed guy who's screaming. One of my brand new customers. He's got one eye and he's got better depth perception than me. But he's got an arsehole that smells like he's been fucking eating hobos' arseholes. So carry on.
Yeah, it sounds like my sponsor player, Harry, is a smelly fucker. Anyway, but I tend to stock 2 hot rubbers, generally speaking. Sometimes 4, it just depends what's in stock with my retailers. I like the Maple Leaf MR Hop 60 degree, but not the silicon one before I put 50p in you and you start fucking raving. And the G&G green, generally speaking. Because the MR Hop's got the sort of longer bucking lips, so some hop units prefer that. The G&G green, slightly shorter, and it sort of swings and roundabouts. And then I've got others just spare. If I see a few Garda ones, I'll pick them up. I'll just pick up whatever's available, just to top up. So every time
pause you for a second, okay? So, do you know what they call it? A hop bucking.
Yeah.
Do you know why? It's because it is a chamber packing in your hop unit, and it was a translation error that said bucking, not packing, and now every motherfucker calls it a bucking. How does it buck? Explain to me how it bucks, because it is a chamber packing for your hop unit, and we call it a hop rubber. So yeah, sure, the hop rubber is not necessarily correct, but it's a chamber packing is what it's called. That's what it's called. Like BB stands for ball shot, and we don't know why. Again, something else you probably didn't know. And when somebody goes, I've got a new bucking, I'm just like, and that's it, because I'm pissed off. Because it's not a fucking bucking, because that's Yank terminology, and it's absolute fucking nonsense. It really is. But do you know what the new thing is? Right, what's the bit that your nozzle attaches to that your sector gear pulls back? What's it called?
Tappet plate.
The tappet plate. Not anymore, because America's decided it's a tapper plate. Because a couple of American people who've gone and they've done their website updates on their phone, and they've got autocorrect. Autocorrect doesn't know what fucking tappet is and gone tapper. I think you mean tapper. No. And so now people are going, new tapper plate. And it's like, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can fucking do, because we are living in the world where autocorrect. Do you know what? If autocorrect actually controlled our lives, I would never have had a father, because every phone I've ever had, brand new, fresh out the packet, if I type the word father, it says Führer. And there's nothing I can do about it. My dad would have been fucking Hitler. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Because my phone says so. Don't trust autocorrect. It's not a hop bucking. It's a chamber packing, but it's the hop rubber. It doesn't buck anything, okay? Unless John Candy's coming out with a drill like Uncle Buck, I don't give a fuck. It's not a bucking. It's a hop rubber because it's a chamber packing, and you guys are stupid. Have you seen the autocorrect? Oh, I love fucking up your fucking videos, man. I love it. Have you seen... It does, because the last one we did, you go...
I edited the bit where you went on a fucking adventure to the toilet.
I'm doing that in this one as well.
No, I can't show that on YouTube.
I might go to the bar. Might go to the bar. Yeah. Just flag it for alcohol references, because I'm there going... I mean, I won't be going like that, because I think it's a bar girl tonight. It might... I don't know, but I'm not going to say. What's his name?
you've fucking thrown me as well now. You've done it.
Uh-huh.
What hop rubbers do you use, or what do you stock generally? Because I know you've got the Quantum, but what else do you tend to stock?
So if somebody's got a lower powered gun, if they want to use CQB and they want to have loads of semi-auto, then I use 50-degree macarons. Generally speaking, if they're playing outside at all at UK power, and even in DMR mode, I've always used the 60-degree macaron. But because the price is so high and the nubs are a little bit funny on Maple Leaf now, and the lips are a bit too long and blah, 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 I've now moved over to the Quantum rubbers because they are really good. I have seen that there is a power drop, but it's not like you put the rubber in and the power just drops off what you're expecting. It's that when you've got a Maple Leaf rubber, you like the Mr. Hop is different because the Mr. Hop is quite a big fat. It's a good patch.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit every barrel. You have to pick like you said, the right rubber for the right unit and the right barrel.
You choose the right one for the job.
So I found this. If I use a maple leaf barrel, especially the chrome lined ones, which I've got no problem with. They're not as good as the steel ones, but they're all right. I had to find some way out of here. So when I'm using one of those, it's with a maple leaf, the power drops very slightly each time you adjust the hop. With the Quantum rubbers, and it is the same with Maple Leaf. With fucking Prometheus and Mad Bull and all, Garda. The nub, the Garda green, the ginger green. The nub is creating because it's the shape of the nub. It gets a little bit of air loss on the sides, so you do get the no hop, no hop, no hop, no hop, little bit of hop, lots of hop, and then the obvious power drop rather than increments.
Yeah.
And so it depends what I'm using. So I won't use, if someone's got a Maple Leaf barrel, I'm not going to be using one of the Quantum Friction Pros because they don't like that barrel. It's using the right thing at the right time. Don't go to sniper school with a shotgun. It's the same thing, isn't it? So that's what I do. It depends what I'm using. But generally speaking, at the moment, do you know what? I've done a lot of support guns recently whereby I've said to somebody, just send me the gearbox. I'm not going to end up like fucking 9.5 fucking Courtney. I'm not doing it. I just send me just the gearbox. I'll make you an amazing gearbox for you to show me that you know how to take your barrel out and put it back in again. Support gun users. I'm one of them. I love a support gun, so that is accurate. You need to know how that works. You know, so your mag works, all that shit. Clean your barrel. You need to know that, and then I'll do just your gearbox because I can charge you less money because it takes me so much less time. By at least 2 hours, at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
And if you've got a support gun, you've got to be taking your barrel out, and you need to know those two screws come out to take your gearbox out. I think it's just you should know your shit if you're putting that much ammo through it. And I've learned that actually, as much as I'm not a big fan of flat hop, it does wear out a lot quicker, obviously. But in support guns, as long as you educate your customer. And I think that is where I've made a mistake where I've gone, I don't like flat hop. I don't think that great because I don't. What I have learned is that when it comes down to the imbeciles who pay us money, if you explain to them about hop rubbers and mags and I'll do your gearbox, a flat hop is the way to go because chances of a jam with a flat hop is this much compared to flat hop. Yeah. If you've got anything protruding really, really heavily, a nub of any kind or a patch of any kind, you're going to notice it. And you can really cause a jam and cause a catastrophic failure. So I think actually, although I've not changed my mind on flat hop, I am really liking taking the standard, normal rubber that comes, like the nitrile rubber that comes in any shitty standard hop unit and flat hopping that. And they do get the range and accuracy they want, and it does last a long time. And a support gun is not meant for pinpoint accuracy. It's meant for a spread of about this much. The size of the screen.
It's about a torso size range. Yeah.
Keep the motherfuckers' heads down so other cunts can move up. That's what it's all about. And so I think I've almost changed my mind a little bit on flat hop, where I've gone, this is a perfectly good use for it. In fact, the support guns, lots of full auto. A flat hop is actually the way to go.
It's quite appropriate.
But that's on you because I'm not fucking doing it.
I mean,
how many guns have you had in? You go first. I'll be polite.
It's all right. I had to explain to a customer the other day because he had a G&G green in his gun. It was getting a bit worn. It was about 8 months into the build. He said, I put a lot of ammo through. I want to change the hop to a Maple Leaf MR hop. Can I do that? I went, you're about 10 FPS under. You might jump up in power, not even necessarily because of the bucking, the lips themselves, but because it's going from a hop mound to a flat hop. Because you're applying less but an even amount of pressure over the distance rather than lots of in a small point of pressure. So you're not having to slow that BB down as much. And it's trying to put that forward to the customer without completely confusing them. Because I can sort of understand it in my brain, but when I try and explain it over the phone, it just doesn't work.
It's even worse when you've got a player. I've got one customer, and he's quite possibly the sweetest human being I've ever met on the planet. But when I started doing jobs for him, he was very, very new. And now he plays a lot, and he's got a collection in the last couple of years that it rivals mine quite happily. Nothing rare, but he's got a lot, right? Yeah. And obviously rare means more. So, and he couldn't understand if he's got a max hop unit with the numbers on it. He can't understand why number 12 is the highest, I think, on it.
I can't remember.
I think it's 12. Let's just say 12. Number 12 should be giving it maximum hop, and 0 should be no hop. And he couldn't understand that on one of his guns, because he supplied some of the parts, he'd already bought the parts. I will try and use them if applicable. He sends off loads at a time. And one of the guns, by the time it's got to like number 5, he's hopping 0.36 into the sky. But the other one, which I think was in, oh Christ, I had to mod it into a Chris Vector, I think. And it got to like number 3, and it was clogging 4s, because that's just how it worked in that gun. And I was trying to explain that you're not aiming for 0 is nothing, and 12 is the maximum. It's not. It's not the this one goes up to 11 fucking amp dial. It just tells you where you are, which is why I don't like hop units that click, because that click, and how many times you had this? The G&G G2 hop unit, in my opinion, is the best hop unit you can get in a standard gun. There is nothing better. But how many times have you had it? Not enough. Number 2, not enough. Number 3, not enough. Number 4, not enough. Number 5, too much. Shit.
I can't remember last time I actually tuned one, actually, but I know what you mean.
They're so good. They're really good.
You want to be between clicks, and it doesn't quite fucking... Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And that's why ZCI just fucking wins. And I know that ZCI has gone... A lot of ZCI parts have really gone... I was chatting to the rock star that is Pete from over at AK2M4, because I speak to him most days. And he's gone, ZCI is kind of... It seems their quality hasn't changed. They haven't changed their molds or something. And the ZCI stuff has kind of nosedived. But if you take the moment just to clean the hop unit or the flash out, clean the little bits of grub out, you've then still paid like £7-8, depending on where you got it from. And it's a fucking perfect hop unit.
Now, I will preface that, because obviously you like the ZCI, so people go, ZCIs are good for everything. They are not good for everything. Certain things they won't fit in. Like I've come across a load of, I think it was Crytacs. I think it was I had 2 Crytacs across my bench, that just the V2 gearbox they do. And because of the nature of the ZCI's hot wheel, that's sort of like square cut, isn't it? It's not tapered,
and you can't slide it into the barrel.
They've been pre-installed, so they've arrived to me pre-upgraded, and I've gone, well, this is shit.
Oh, and the wheel touching the bottom of the gearbox as well.
You know exactly what I fucking mean. So I've had to take the wheel off and like
mill it.
Because I didn't want to charge them for another hop unit, and just take the edge off so it clears. How to explain it?
That's why I'm pissed all day. It just takes the edge off.
So so the top of the gearbox goes down, then there's the front, and then there's like a mound on the frontmost screw. That frontmost screw is what interferes with the hop wheel. Just for people who don't quite understand what we obviously know. So they are good, but
everything.
Again, it's like the hop rubbers aren't suitable for every build. Same with the hop units.
No, it's not. You cannot have, and this is the problem. I started off with my anti-max hop unit rant, and that overtook my pro-win hop unit rant, because it's not a great hop unit. It's just not. It's a power downgrade hop unit. But in some builds, when the Barrett is going to go live in a few weeks, I hope, because I think enough time has passed that I can make a dead children joke over and over and over and over. I'm keeping that in my one. At that point, it's like, well, it's perfect for that build. But when you've got a hop unit, like, or anything that is CNC precision, just precision. Airsoft guns aren't precision, they're shit.
Mm-hmm.
And you've just spent a lot of money and you'll get better results with something that is not as precision. Because it's just too good.
This is a problem when I do get the builds from sort of like your bedroom techs, your on-site techs, as you sort of know them as, they tend to have a set list of what they think works. So they'll say it's this piston head, this nozzle.
Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4.
I mean, I do Tier 1, 2, 3, but it's not like you do it. I'll just give people an indication of price. Because we'll come back to that. We'll loop round back to that. Let me finish my story before we put 50p in you. You fucking throw me off again, you bellend.
But which end? Who knows which end it's going to go in? Am I going to choke on your words, or am I going to be constipated for a few days? I don't know. I don't want to fuck up, because I know it's very easy, because we're both retarded as fuck. I know that, right? Yeah. But it's easy for me because I swallowed that tooth. I was at a wedding for one of my player marshals from the mall all those years ago, and he basically was getting married. He's a DJ, and his wife is a policewoman, and they were like, you should invite everyone from the mall. You should do that. And we all turned up. Most of us, 99% of us turned up. And it was awesome. It was a really good night. And I was eating a spring roll whilst talking to the bride's mother. And I'm eating a spring roll. These have been in for fucking, nearly a year now I've had these cunts in. And I've eaten a spring roll. I've gone, and I felt it come out. I was like, my God, it's broke away. I hope my tooth isn't broken. Push it back on. All right, it's fine. Currently talking to the bride's mother. And I realised I got a tooth off. And she goes, so how is it that you know? And I've gone, oh, fuck. Oh, you cunt. And I fucking run away and tried to vomit up my tooth. And I couldn't. And it took about...
out your shit, didn't you?
Right. These are things... I've raised it other places, right? If you were going to be looking in your shit... I shit once a day, right? I'm older than you. I shit once a day. If you were going to look through your shit... How would you do it? Okay, I'm going to give you
I don't know.
Just think about it. You would have to go, right, cleanliness. So I got gloves. I got gloves from one of my customers. Again, now a good friend, Hamza. And Hamza got me loads of gloves because he was sick of me getting infected from people's disgusting guns. So he gave me loads of free gloves. And you sit on the toilet. You got gloves and you go, it's fine. Once I've had a shit, I'm going to look through it for a vampire fang. That's worth like 250 quid. No problem, right? It's no problem. And once you've had a shit, you realise there's something you've not thought about, and that is, if I wipe my ass, I've got to put toilet paper down the toilet. And that's going to make it harder. It's logistics, exactly.
Yes.
I did logistics with DHL, I understand. So I've got to... And so the first time I wiped my ass, and I was feeling through every last little bit, but I'm gathering. I've wiped, I've turned around with my head in the bowl, and I'm gathering, I'm foraging for fucking silver shits. And nothing. And I thought, there's got to be a better way than this. There's got to be a better way. My wife's honest suggestion, she wasn't being ironic, she wasn't being funny. This is my wife's suggestion. Shit in the cat litter.
Oh, fuck.
And I couldn't make her understand that I'll do it. I mean, people have seen, they know who I am by now. I'll shit in the cat litter, especially if it's really funny. I'll shit in anyone's cat litter. I'll shit in your stew if I think it's really good. I knew a guy that shit in someone's teapot.
Oh.
he saw a stand-up skit, right, where someone took a shit in someone's fucking kettle, and he's gone one step further at a fucking house party and shit in their teapot and put it back in the cupboard. He took effort to come downstairs, get a teapot and shit. Anyway,
that's the whole new level of upper decker.
Would you use the strainer? I don't know. So I'm like, you've got little lumps in cat litter, where it's little tiny clay stones or little wood pellets. We use wood pellets because we change it frequently. We've got a lot of animals. So I'm trying to feel through, which is hard and not hard. It's not going to work. It's a bad idea. My wife couldn't understand. I love you, Christina, but you didn't understand. So the next day, I had to think about how I'm going to do this. Do I stand on the... Do I take a shit and then stand with my bum sitting over the edge of the bath and shower my arsehole? And that went wrong in Portugal because I'd never used a bidet before. And I turned the bidet on to wash my arse and boiling water came out. Fonzie and my wife were pissing themselves because my arsehole was like it looked like it had been a street fight, a fucking some kind of raspberry that's been in a fucking street fight. And that's what my arsehole looked like by the end of it. I know because I showed my wife going, "Is it fucking sore?" And she was like, "That looks really sore." I'm like, "It feels sore." And then we went and did trekking around fucking Portugal with the fucking arsehole that looks like fucking goatsy. And how are you going to... So that's one problem, right? So I had other options. There were options available to me. And the other options were, do I put the glove on and shit in my hand?
Oh,
You still got
no good options. There's no good
There's
options.
There's none. So the next day, yeah, I did shit in my hand. There was nothing in there, but it wasn't viable. And what I learned was that I had to bring a doggy poop bag from when I go pick up Gozer and Faye's poop. And I'd have to use that poop bag, not what you're thinking, for the toilet paper. So I could wipe. Exactly, yeah. I like that. I like the, I like the way Snrub thinks, right? And I put the wipe, nice and clean, and I use wet wipes. I'm 44 next year, so I do use wet wipes. I've got like these anusol ones that are very, very soothing, especially those fucking weeks, right? And I wipe. And when I'm all nice and clean, put them in the poop bag, tie the poop bag up, and I can put that in my bin for some other fuckers to deal with, right? I pay for my own bin collections, so I don't feel that other people should pay for my trade waste. Anyway, so then I get to go round to the toilet and then get into the toilet with the glove on and squidge. This is the best solution as well. You have to go in all the way down, make sure there's none, because sometimes you have like a turdzilla, and it's got his little face out the fucking water, but it goes all the way around the U-bend like this, and you've got to get round and reel him back in and get every last little bit. And do you know what? I eat a lot of peanuts. I didn't realise how many peanuts I ate. I do.
There's a lot of confusion between peanuts and teeth.
There is. And you'd never think about it, would you? I've seen Jeremy Kyle a few times. There in the UK, there is a lot of confusion between dry roasted peanuts and teeth. But generally speaking, when you're squishing one up, right, you think, oh, I've got it. I've got my tooth. No, I can squash it. And that's when I stopped eating peanuts. I'm not had peanuts in about a month now, because fuck that. I'm not doing that again just in case. Fuck this noise. So that's what I did. Like squish. I come in this cocktail place every day. It's fucking glorious. It's not busy, isn't it? You know? Like I love this fucking place. It's amazing.
I can
London
just imagine
Cocktail Club.
There's people out there for a nice cocktail. You're talking about feeling through your shit, like cursed cauliflower cheese by the time you finished with it, and they're fucking
the cursed cauliflower cheese.
But yeah. Anyway, we are getting back onto fucking hot rubbers in a minute.
Not quite, because I've gone squeezy, right? And it's at that point I realised if I find it, and I didn't, after 2 weeks I didn't, do I really want to be doing this? Because you can Google how long it takes a gold tooth to go through your digestive system, and it could be 2 days or up to 8 months. And I just decided that I'd rather fork out another nearly £500 for fucking teeth. I'd rather do that than search through my shit. And that's the way it went. But there are other options available to you. That I could go down and squish, squish, squish. There are other options. Somebody said, "Why don't you shit in the glove?" And I thought, yeah, that's it. A bag, you've got to stretch. Like you've got to stretch, and you've got to shit in the bag. But if you've got a glove, you could kind of clasp it like that and just, convey about one in. It's a bit like being a butcher and making sausage strings or sausage links. It's the same thing.
That's a mental image I do not want to picture. It's just something I don't want to think about.
But you've only seen your own arsehole and possibly definitely your other half's arsehole, and maybe a kid's arsehole. If you've got a dog, you've seen an arsehole. But you've just imagined mine, and I'm nearly 44.
It looks like a fucking punch lasagna.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, like, literally, you could even an amateur could take some kind of American football, which is handball, and they could throw it.
Rugby ball, do you mean?
And I reckon, I could catch it with my arsehole. I reckon I could engorge it.
It's just the noise, just thunk as it goes in.
Yeah. How are they going to get it out? It doesn't matter. Maybe they've got to carry me down to the fucking touchline, just carrying negative airsoft. Yeah. Well, the ball's up his arse. We've got to go with it. He's all right. It'll be okay. Touchdown.
I don't even know how we got to this stage.
Hot rubbers.
Yes, hot rubbers. Now all I can think about is that fucking advert you put. Well, the quantum advert of how many could fit up your bum. That fucking made me giggle. That did. Jesus fucking hell. Anyway, you stock what? How many different hot rubbers? I will get us back on track.
Three.
What are they?
Maple leaf 60-degree yellows. The macaron type normally.
Mm-hmm.
I've still got a fair few silverbacks because I can't fucking get rid of them now because they only fit on certain barrels and certain hop units. ZCI hop unit, ZCI hop barrel, ZCI hop unit, or Promi barrel and Promi hop unit. They fit, and it's the best hop rubber I've ever used. Everything else, load of fucking shit. So those are the three I've got.
Fair enough. So for people who have sat through Neg's poo story and want to know what are the best hop rubbers, there is no clear answer. It's just try one of those options, really, generally speaking.
And I learned from my last video with you, whereby you cut out the bit of me going for a piss, which I'm going to do in a minute after I've been to the bar. If I keep referencing the poo story for the rest of the video...
I didn't cut it out.
Yes, you did.
I sped it up.
Okay, it's not in there.
It's there.
I didn't expect that random man who I've never seen before.
I know.
Thing is,
that was the main reason I sped the whole fucking thing up, because I thought
that dude was not in the bar. That dude was not in the bar. He wasn't in the bar. That was a guy that came in to use the pisser. Fuck him.
He probably left because he thought this weird man's just recorded me having a piss.
There's only a few things in life that are worse than Hitler. And one of them is a place that goes to a bar or a cafe or wherever to take a piss or a shit and leave. I've been caught short, but you know what? I accept it. It's my own fault, and I'll give you some money. I'm using your toilet paper. I'm probably tasting your urinal cakes. I think I should give you some money. I think that's fair, right?
High-level airsoft of shit. I've been tasting urinal cakes.
Airsofters don't know what they are. Airsofters... I learned from Airsoft Fonzie, because my video that went live fucking yesterday on my Patreon, where Fonzie and I are sat right fucking here talking, I learned that during the main safety brief, Fonzie sits there in the Portaloo doing his Duolingo and then bragging to a very famous person in a very famous band that his streak, his unbroken streak of hours and days is better than his. And this guy in a very famous band, I forget the name of the band, but watch my fucking shit on Patreon. And the guy's like talking to Fonzie, like, yeah, I'm behind you. I'm trying to catch up, but I can't catch up. And Fonzie's like, yeah, but I get to sit on the toilet every day and catch up my Duolingo. So, toilet time is a good time. It's something we need to discuss.
It's where most people watch YouTube, that's for sure.
It's also the place where they don't wipe their fucking ass if they're airsofters.
Well, this is
They
true.
don't. I had a guy turn up 2 days ago. He turned up quite early in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
He smelled like the worst bad breath halitosis you can think of.
Oh,
And I'm used to airsofters having bad breath. What I didn't expect is sweaty arse crack at that time in the morning on a fucking weekday. He went to work like that. And this is why I wear purple gloves in all my videos now.
Do you really get like arm infections and shit from handling all the different rifles?
Yeah,
really?
Fuck me, yeah. I mean, I can't remember if it was a Patreon video or a YouTube video, but I did somebody's gun that was so absolutely and completely disgusting. His rifle case, I opened it up and there was loads of like waifu fucking anime stickers on the outside, and it was one of those the little M4s with the stuff bolted to it from JG, and it's an anime gun, and there were things living in his rifle case, and the things were living in his mag as well. There were crawling things, jumping things. And when I realised, I freaked out. And yeah, okay, I got a bit itchy, psychosomatic itchy, but I got bit by something on my arm. My whole arm swelled up. I'm not even kidding. At least this high. And I could take where the bite was, and I could squeeze. And all of this blister-like pus would pour out down my arm and drip.
Oh, fuck that. I have a thing about cleanliness.
And that's why I fucking wear gloves now. Every video I'm wearing gloves. If I see a dog hair, a pube, no way. And how many guns do you have pubes in?
So
yeah,
my sponsor player, Harry, he is a fucker for not cleaning his guns. He has an RPD. You know, is it the LCT RPD? They're like rocking horse teeth.
A&K as well,
he said, it's stopped feeding. Can you have a look at it? I went, yeah, sure. Just give us the mag. It's probably
because there's so many pubes in the hop unit. It's like a whale's mouth.
There was his fucking missus's head hair. I think she's got the hairbrush and just put that in there. It was fucking snarled up in the gears, and I went, Harry, what the fuck? The BBs were mixed colours and mixed weight, and I was like, no.
I'm going to go on record to say 2 5s and 2 8s, or 2 8s and 3s, or you can bleep this bit because I will. Good 2 8s and Valkyrie 2 8s at a 0.29. That gives you a decent spread. It works. But when it's like, there are 3 green ones, 2 black ones, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same.
Yeah,
there are green ones and the blue ones and the pink ones and the yellow ones.
I can deal with it when
and they're all made out of ticky-tacky and they're all just the same.
I can deal with it when there's loads of woodland shit in people's boxes, but if I see genuine just grime,
is that from your days going out dogging? I'm okay with lots and lots of woodland in their boxes.
No. Oh god, I'm gonna have to fucking edit this so heavily. This is your fault.
I won't, and they're still just keep it in. Keep it in.
Okay,
keep it in because I'm gonna post it. And you're going to get like 7 views. I'm going to get like thousands. Just keep it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
But so,
my favorite bar girls that pass you so cool.
Did you ever find out what was in that fucking box? Then was it like fleas or some shit that you got the bite off?
I reckon they had names and postcodes. Some of the things that were living inside there had fucking NHS numbers. National insurance numbers and shit. It was bad, dude. It was so bad. So bad.
I would have just sent the fucking gun back. I just said, nope, that's dirty. Sent it back.
I was trying not. We've all got a friend who's very dirty and filthy. You don't want to go to their house, but you love them because they're your friend. You love them forever. Everyone's got that friend. And I was trying to look at it through those eyes, and I couldn't quite. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And I was trying my best, and watching the video went a little bit on YouTube, and the whole video went on Patreon. And the gun, I was a cunt about it as well. I was so angry. He said, "Do a cool paint job," and I'm like, and I was so angry from this massively. My arm was like bigger. My arm was bigger than my fucking calf. It was ridiculous, and so much pus. So I painted his gun pink, unapologetically. Have I got free creative control to paint this in a cool thing? Yes. I'm painting it pink. And he was like, ha ha ha. And I was like, don't ha 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 me. because I'm painting, and it's pink. It's pink. If you see somebody out there with one of those thunder malls that's bright pink, don't go near the dude. I'm sure he's lovely. But anyone who's got a thunder mall and loads and loads and loads of really explicit fucking anime stickers over his case, there's no way he's not going out at night time and fucking the wildlife. There's no way.
I have a suspicion he probably smells of loneliness, is the best way I can describe it.
Every single airsofter is loneliness with a hint of desperation. What the fuck is this?
I don't know, because it sounds a bit pixelated. Well, not pixelated. A bit roboty.
How can sounds be pixelated?
I know.
It sounds like little squares.
You've made my brain really fuzzy now because of all the fucking talking about bullshit that you've been doing.
Gotcha.
I had a nice.
You phased out. Don't worry. My audio is going to be crystal clear, dude. Don't worry.
No, your audio is lovely, but the music, yeah. Anyway, now
you're saying I should get in the ceiling and just film the ceiling and the speakers. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Dum dum dum.
I was wanting to ask you, because obviously you do all your tech work in house, but you used to do some on site, didn't you? Because I don't. You still marshal at the local site? I can't remember.
No. As soon as I've had a straw in my hat for about 4 hours.
I wondered what that was.
I drink Guinness with a straw.
Oh, that's
there we
degenerate.
Go. No, I don't do any site tech work at all. When I managed them all, so we're talking like that went defunct in 2018, 2019. I did all of the tech work, and I banned anybody else from doing any form of tech work because it would come back on me. So I don't do any site tech work now. I've had a few retailers say, "We do this stuff that we don't know how to do," and it's like, well, stop selling the thing you don't know how to do. And let's touch on a subject in a second I'll come back to, which is one very famous retailer who does nothing but TM recalls, basically. However, his work is immaculate, expensive, immaculate, but he won't touch anything else really. And it's like, yeah, but I keep my options open, and I touch everything that's not TM recalls and HPA. So, but yeah, I don't do any site work stuff because you are limited. At the mall, I'd have 15 people all come to me one after the other going, "Can you get my gun under site limit before the first game?" And it's like, I've got to get 15 guns under the limit in 45 minutes.
Yeah,
because my brief was 20 minutes, but other people's 45 minutes.
If it's anything like me, when you've got someone staring at you while you're trying to do a job, for some reason your brain just stops working properly, and you start to overthink things. And
I understand as well.
Pickups.
Yeah, I used to have that. I couldn't have anyone watching anything that I was doing, anything at all. Again, one of the bars I normally go in, the Boundary. Someone destroyed the men's toilet to the point they had to dig up the road out the front. And so now they've got the women's and men's toilets. It goes back to piss and shit again. It goes back to that. And within 15 minutes of them going, right, the women's toilets is now unisex toilets, someone had gone in there and torn the fucking... There's 4 cubicles. They've torn one of the doors off the fucking hinge. And it's like, you bastards. The PayPal payment come through. I'll enjoy that in a moment. And yeah, I forgot what I was talking about.
Site teching.
Yep. Dumb it down.
I'll edit this bit. You were talking about...
keep it in. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Anyway, before you go off on another autistic rant, because it's going to be like 2 hours long. Anyway, which I don't mind, actually. I quite enjoy these chats. It's good fun. I used to be able to tech on site. I used to say, well, if there's a little problem, maybe I can change the spring.
About 15 jobs. That's it. There we go. That's the one. About 15 jobs on the road. You've got to get them all done before the first game. It's like, you're not going to get the best service out of me. No. And that's why I won't do it now, because every customer is treated like an individual. And I want to give them the absolute best experience and workmanship I can offer them. And if you work at an airsoft site, you don't get that option. And because you don't have that option, you don't get a chance to concentrate, and you resent when people walk in, distract you, and that's why you feel uncomfortable. I can't play guitar in front of people. I used to be in a band, and the band went very far, but without me. because I left because they were shit. And I was wrong. I joined a different band who I thought was awesome. They were shit, went nowhere. And I can't play guitar in front of people. I just can't do it. Guns, I'll chat away and I'll talk about my arsehole while I'm doing it. It's not a problem because I'm used to it by now. But yeah, when you're on site, there's people distracting you. You're on a time schedule. You know, I do power downgrades for a tenner a piece. And it's like, when you've got 15, you've got to get them done. It's hard. It's hard.
I mean, you were mostly indoors when you did the site teching, wasn't it? When I'm more of a woodland player originally. That's the local site. So you just, it's how it works. And there's nothing worse than trying to tack a gun or change a hot rubber, and you drop the nub, and it's in a pile of gravel, and off it fucks into the ether, never to be seen again. There's just nothing worse. And
my whole workshop is swept all the time, but it's like everything I drop on the floor, it goes, watch me. I'm falling extra slow so you can watch me. Watch how slowly I bounce, and I'm gone.
Yeah, gone. It goes really slow, then it goes.
It could be a whole Crytek gearbox, just like la 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 la. Gone.
It's normally like a semi-important screw that I tend to lose, or a hot nub, like an Omega nub, where you think, I don't want to lose that because the Omega.
You get the quantum rubbers; they come with it.
Yes, I remember seeing that actually. That's quite useful. But yeah, it's always when you drop, it fucks off under the bench, never to be seen again. You're there with a stick, trying to fish out from under the bench, trying to get all the bits out. There's nothing worse. But the next podcast I'm going to do is with the lads on Nemcast After Hours, and they were like, what's a good kit for a site tech? I went, well, I don't normally recommend people do site tech work.
No.
But I've got to try and think of the way I'm going to frame it is, what would you, so if you're going to maintain your own guns, say you're going to a weekend event, I know you don't play as much as you used to. If you had to build a toolkit to do that, if something went drastically wrong, what would you take?
What I've learned of what site techs generally turn up with now, it is basically just a teaspoon with some burnt heroin residue.
Yeah, a little
that's basically it.
On a good day.
And literally, if you turn up to any, I've said it a million times, you turn up to any airsoft site with a Leatherman and a really big gut, then you've got the job. After interactions I've had in the last week, I'm going to go serious for a second. The last interactions I've had in the last week, if you have to ask that question, you've got absolutely no right doing the job.
Yeah.
You don't have that right, because this is stuff that people paid for. If you sell anything, new, secondhand, you supply, they supply, if you've got any care and consideration for other human beings and the money they've earned, and let's face it, I charge 45 quid an hour. Some people are more than me. When you charge that much money, you should have enough gumption about you to go, I won't rob this motherfucker blind by just having one screwdriver. And I'm putting on fucking I'm putting on motor terminal spade connectors with my teeth, and I've seen it. It's bullshit. You need to have that about you, and if you have to ask that question, you've got no right doing it. You just don't, because you're not there to make a quick buck. You're there to provide a service, and you wouldn't accept it in the fucking Costa. If someone gave you a fucking really sloppy latte, you wouldn't accept it. You wouldn't. And they're doing it every fucking 2 minutes. They've got a skill that you can't achieve at home. You should be paying for that. They should get it right.
A good quarter of my work nowadays, at least, it used to be a lot more, it seems to have dropped off, was rifles being fucked up by other people, like site techs.
That is most of my work. That's most of my work.
Which is unfortunate, really, because you want them to be just broken guns. It's so much easier when it's broken guns.
Police officers are the same, Do you know any police officers ever? And I know a lot. I mean, every police officer, every fireman, would they prefer to live in a world without crime and without house fires? Yeah, they prefer to be unemployed. But this is the world we live in.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean is, I think I'd rather have people. It's not always that cut and dry, obviously, but it's so much nicer when you've got a rifle that's stripped to piston, because you can go in there, you can diagnose it. If you're charging by the hour, it's nice, quick, simple. But when it's a site tech who's fucked with it, you're not only diagnosing the immediate problem, but you're having
you're
to
unfucking what they fucked.
Engineer and unfucked what they fucked, which takes twice the amount of time. I've had it before where I've done a full gearbox build because I've had to unfuck all of it, and then gone, oh, they've installed the wrong hot rubber for this barrel, and it's misfeeding that way, and this is also a problem. And yeah, it produces a lot of work. But the way I was sort of, I'm going to try and phrase it for the next podcast, is probably if you wanting to exclusively maintain your own rifle on site. Say you're going away abroad, so you've got no choice but to maintain your own shit, even if it's not even necessarily abroad. It's 6 hours drive, so you've committed to going to this event. What sort of tools would you take? I'm only trying to get a
spare gun.
A gist. A whole spare gun, just forget it.
Absolutely. And at least 2 sidearms you can rely on, because you never know. You never know. Airsoft guns are shit. You never know.
I mean,
I could have charged somebody £1,000 for an amazing build, but it could have just fucking died for no reason. It's the nature of what we do.
I've completely got off using sidearms. I just don't really fucking use them. I just
sidearms are always my primary because it's much more fun. Much more fun. And you can't be a cunt with a fucking gas pistol with a mag. You can't be a cunt with it. You wouldn't dare. It's why MP9s, I think, are always going to be my go-to.
I suppose that's also the separation between indoor gamer and woodland player, more or less.
Yeah.
Pistols in woodland is just, you're pissing in the fucking wind. Literally, if it's windy, you're going to be really struggling. So you just need an AG to put extra down, I suppose. I suppose that's the difference, isn't it?
Exactly. Pick the right tool for the right job. Again, like I said earlier on, if you pick the right tool for the job, you don't go to sniper school with a shotgun. There are things that I had a long chat with somebody actually in one of my live streams. Not a live stream, but like when I put a video up, I chat away on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I tried to explain to somebody that, do you realize how much fun you can have? You might have a fucking $2,000 TM recoil, and you might have like a fucking £1,500 high capper on your hip. Do you realize how much fun you're going to have with a 50 quid tri-shot Springer shotgun? It's good. Every kill is worth 40 of what you got with your HPA MTW. It's worth every pump. You get back to the safe zone. You've killed 6 people. You might have had through the whole day. You might have had an zero death kill streak of 9 kills, and you've had 10 shots and had to reload in a hurry. And my God, like, you get back to the safe zone. Other people are like, I only got 25 kills, or some guy was overkilling. You've got back and you've got 3 kills in a row with a tri-shot Springer shotgun, and it's the best day of your life because you had to put effort in and you had a fucking brilliant day. And if I was saying, what gun should I get? I think the gun you need to get a full size, full stock M3 Super 90 shotgun. Don't get the TM1. Credit's due. They built it and they designed it and all that shit. But a SEMA M3 Super 90, short barrel, full stock, so you can lean on it and pump it. You will never have a better day of airsoft because every kill you get, every person who you see, if you've got one of these like gas shotguns or an APA adapted shotguns, that's very apt for people that got one of those. When you've got to really struggle it back and give that shot, you get 3 kills in a row. The person you've killed is going to go, they're fucking well played. Even if you got shot directly afterwards. Oh my God, you get respect from the enemy player. Like, you did fucking well. That's where it's at. This is why Olympians are not fucking 10 a penny.
It's what I quite like as well is I tend to take out a stock AG once in a while. If I'm playing for a day, I've got obviously my LCT Val, which is all nicely done up. It runs a dream. I'm happy with it. Got a few other guns I know you don't like the Val.
No, I'm glad that some disabled children who are deaf and blind got to design a fucking Lego AK. I'm really pleased for you.
Yes, Lego AK.
And again,
I also have a stock M4, and every now and then I like to just take the stock M4 out because it makes you push up. You can't hit the target that's so small at range. You've got to get up there. You've got no choice.
Yeah. And why are airsoft guns crap? Because when they're standing out of the box and they're crap, you can just keep using them forever.
Yeah.
It's what you want.
It also helps reset my brain a little bit because sometimes I don't know how to, other than saying I'm a bit spoilt with airsoft. You know, when you're so used to hearing a
I know
brushless build,
exactly what you're going to say. Yeah.
I end up sort of getting tunnel vision and getting a rabbit hole, especially if I've been on a gun all day and I'm doing like a really nice high end build. I'm really spending the time to make sure it's absolutely immaculate. You spent fucking ages on the shimming and you get sort of snow blind to the sound. Where you're sounding, is that a bit better? Change the shim. Is that any better?
Yep.
And I tend to get into that sort of mindset where I go, right, I need to walk away for an hour, have a coffee, whatever it might be, come back, fuck about with a stock AEG to listen to the noise and pick up that really fancy brushless build again and go, it is perfect. I was just procrastinating. And this is a problem I suffer with fucking constantly. I must waste.
Anybody in any profession procrastinates about the same level of things, which is why, regardless of how many amazing AEG builds I've got, every time I go out and play airsoft, I end up with the same shitty 1980s pistol because it's funny as shit. Because that's what I want. That's what I crave. I crave amusement value, not elitism. I can build you an elitism fucking gun. I can do that. That's what I do for a living. It's not as much fun as having a late 1980s gas gun. But even if you braced it in a vice, the chance of you getting more than 10 meters and the BBs go in the same place by a meter is fuck all. And it's just fun. It's fun. A Springer flintlock. Oh my God, so much fun. So much fun.
I've not had a go with one of them. Do you actually have one?
They're shit and they're brilliant. They're shit. They're so shit. There's now CO2 versions. Like, no. Don't destroy this beautiful thing that we've got. Don't destroy it. You have to sit there and not even arm it and fire it. You have to arm it and put the other thing back and make sure the BB's loaded. And if you do it out of time, you can break the gun. It takes like 45 minutes to reload the fucking Springer thing. But it's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant because when you get that kill, again, Fonzie screaming avast ye motherfuckers people at a CQB site where they're all running HPA and fucking CM recalls and Crytek. HPA taps shotguns with drum mags, and he's got a flintlock Springer pistol, 160 FPS on a 2, and he's having a whale of a time. That's what it's about. It's not about defeating people and being better. It's about having as much fun as you can, and that's where people get lost, and that's why I'm such a cunt on the internet, because I can build you something that's fucking epic, but I still don't believe this day you'll have as much fun as I do with a tri-shot Springer shotgun. Because you won't. You just fucking won't, dude.
How long's your channel been going now officially?
4 years?
What actually made you start YouTube? Was it for the business aspect of just?
I was legitimately just bored.
Fair.
I needed something else to do and engage with other people because I'm don't do this to me. Should I do it not as negative airsoft? Should I do it as a normal person? The way you've heard me before.
Whatever you prefer.
I'll do it normal. I'll do it normal. Just for you. Just for you. I'll drop the voice. I'll drop the negative airsoft voice. So basically, I engage with so many people who I came to love and trust and respect and like, and I missed having people who appreciated the work that I was doing and I was making them laugh and trying to give them the best day possible. And I didn't quite know what to do with it. So I figured if I started a YouTube channel, I could just do I get a little bit of work in, maybe, I don't know, but it gave me something to do whilst the company was in between sites. And it was kind of at that point that I went, well, my favorite video on the whole channel is my first video where I did the VP70, because no one fucking does that shit. And I did the VP70, and it was when I got to about probably 300 followers who were starting to just do this work. But it was only through like word of mouth, speak this guy, he doesn't know what he's doing, but no one knows who he is, kind of thing. And I did that, and it was quite nice. And I didn't get any YouTube following at all. No one gave a shit. But then I noticed that one day I dropped a massive F-bomb. It was like a proper, I think it was motherfucker at the end of the video. And some guy in the 60 people that watch my channel or 100 people watching my channel, within like the first month that I was doing it, I basically he was upset because he was watching it with his kid, and he actually left a comment and sent me an email noting that I shouldn't do that because people are watching it with people who are not. It's not flagged as adult entertainment, and I thought, what if I pull a massive prank like I would do back at the mall? And I thought, what if I just did this wonderful thing where I apologise to everybody? So I waited for a really terrible gun to come in. It happened to be Steve Cox from UCAC 2, because Steve worked for me for many years. Steve's one of my favourite people on the planet. And he's just a lovely guy. And he sent me a couple of G3s inside a box, just inside an ammo can or something. And I just said, well, I did the whole video as me. And I said, I'm really sorry I was swearing. I didn't mean to upset anybody. And, I do swear a bit. It's what I do. It's a character trait. But unfortunately, I will try not to do it again. And I'm really sorry and I apologize. And then I moved the camera over to this box of shit. And I went, for fuck's sake, what sort of cunt? And that's when I got cunt, and then I just blocked it. And that's when my channel went, fuck. It was like, oh, this is actually quite good. This is not something anybody else does. This is
that niche.
A little bit different, because everyone knows me as someone who's quite camp and quite silly. So, I've been an actor for many, 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 many years, stand-up comedian, all that shit. So I've done all that stuff. So I can turn on a character anytime I want to. And that's kind of what I did with it. Look at this. This is not the interview you thought you were getting. This is not the pod. This is not the way you thought it was going to go. This is my normal everyday voice. And yeah, that was it. I realized that people thought that was quite funny. And my entire perspective in life is that whilst someone's laughing, they're not having a bad day. So you keep people laughing and keep them entertained. That's what you do. And that's when I just, well, fuck it. That's when, motherfucker, that's when I just slid back into my fucking, well, do you know what? I can probably just do this fucking character all fucking day long because this is, my inner monologue fucking sounds like this all fucking day long. And I've always said to people, they say, what's your favourite thing? And my favourite fucking thing is just standing at bus stops because I don't drive. I've got a 62 grand vehicle and I don't fucking drive because you buy your wife a nice truck, she's got to fucking take you anywhere you want to go, So you stand at a bus stop looking like me. And at the time I had a fucking massive mohawk, beautiful fucking thing. And I got the fucking teeth and the fucking tattoos. And look at that bad cunt I had fucking done yesterday. The dead walk, flip that in the video. And people are a little bit nervous of talking to you. So then you talk to them in your regular, everyday sort of voice where you talk to normal people in a normal conversation where you're being polite. And this is how you talk to people. And they realize that you absolutely shouldn't judge somebody on how they look or how they sound because you might get the wrong opinion of somebody because I understand that my everyday normal voice. I've got the wrong voice and the wrong attitude for how I look, but that's very much on purpose by design because people don't fuck with me. No one walks up to me and goes fuck you, and it doesn't happen because I look like I'll fucking kill you. And the reality is I'd rather not. So I'm just kind of quite placid and nice and flamboyant and camp.
Do you ever struggle to sort of get into that sort of mindset and character and all that shit for a YouTube video?
No.
Like, do you ever get days where you just can't be fucking bothered to do a YouTube video? Or do you sort of... Because I follow your stuff. Every time you put one up, I watch it. But I've never actually noticed if you have an upload schedule. Like,
I deliberately do not have an upload. Every single Monday at 7 o'clock, as close as I can, you'll get a Patreon video on Patreon that you have to pay to see. But when it's my YouTube videos, I want to absolutely make sure that Skynet are not fucking watching me. I don't want fucking YouTube knowing what I'm doing. I have so much troubles anyway with that kind of shit. And I've had a couple of strikes against me where I've just said motherfucking cunting prostitute cunts and something like that, and it all goes wrong. But they don't, because of the images on the screen, you can say what you like, but you can't show certain things. So, like, you can watch people die on YouTube as long as it's from the news, and I don't agree with that at all. I think that's wrong. And so I made sure that my uploads were as random, sparse and sporadic as I could possibly make them. Look at that. In my negative airsoft fucking attitude, I gave 3 big fucking words. And I want to make sure they are just as spaced and random. I do things where I do a part 1 of a video, and it's like 45 minutes long. And after 15 minutes or 10 minutes of that video, I upload part 2 that's 45 minutes long. So other people are joining the live fucking thing and they're seeing the wrong bit. I like to do that because it keeps you on your fucking toes. I don't believe I'm a very schedule. I'm autistic as shit. So ADHD, autism, PTSD. So I like to make sure that everything I'm doing is on time. I'm never late for fucking anything. And if somebody else makes me late, you're going to die. I hate being late. I like timeliness. I like forethought, pre-planning. I like to know everything that's happening a fucking week before. I love that. That's what I live for. And that's why my videos are the opposite. I want to make sure they are sporadic, random. Just wherever I want to throw that information in, there it is, bang. And that's why I like fucking with people like yourself, where video comes up and it's like, you've thrown me off kilter again. Yeah, because I think it's funny. Because if I think it's funny, generally speaking, there'll be people that don't think I'm funny. Fuck them. I think I'm funny. My mother does not think I'm funny. My mother is so posh you wouldn't believe. My dad was from a fucking traveller background, which is how you get this. So to have a posh mum and a traveller father, you get this weird thing going on in your brain and the way you act with people. So I want to make sure that people are always on their fucking toes and they don't know what I'm going to do next, because then life's boring. Because I don't want other people's lives and their entertainment to be as boring as my normal life. Because my normal life is that I know what time I'm starting, I know what time I'm doing this and this and this. I need to be here on this time. This is what I'm doing, that, and pay this and do that. And everything's planned out to the fucking finest, and it's frustrating. So I make sure that other people's lives are mental.
Do you set yourself like a day? Because this is something I'm struggling with at the minute anyway. Especially now I'm starting to record a bit more for my shitty little channel. I'm struggling to manage how much time I'm spending editing, especially in the week. Because obviously I'm working 2 jobs, and I'll find myself, if I sit down to start editing at 6, I'll watch the whole video.
My mental capacity.
And then I spend like 6 hours fucking editing sometimes when there's no need to.
My mental capacity, like I said, I like to be pre-planned. So the video that I was doing earlier on today, I knew I was up at 6:30 doing that shit. I got 2 or 3 guns on today. One of them is prepped for tomorrow, I think. So 2 guns plus prepped. And not everything goes on my list, because if I get a Novrich warranty repair, it doesn't go on the list. If somebody turns up with like 5 different guns already downgrading, I'm not going to put 5 guns on my motherfucking list, because that's going to look stupid. It's not going to work. People are going to look at my list and go, he's got too many guns. Because generally speaking, 1 gun on my list is 1 day, and it could be 2, because I don't get things that are easy. I don't get that anymore. I get things that everyone else has not managed to do, and I've got to do it as a matter of pride. And as much as I'm 45 quid an hour, I'm not charging with 3 days to do 1 airsoft gun, because it's a toy gun. I'm not that much of a shithead. So I find that my uploads, my videos, the editing time, if I'm sat at home, I will spend money on more nonsense. If I'm sat at home, I'm going to be bored shitless, and I'll just start another job. And then when I get halfway through the job and have to finish, it's 8 o'clock at night, and then I go inside, I'm late for dinner, and I've not seen my wife and my babies, and I'm just like, I'm frustrated. So I make sure that every day I fuck off somewhere else. I'm self-employed, so I go anywhere I can, and I'd be making a lot more money or have more money in the bank than I do if I wasn't going out to coffee shops and bars and pubs to work, because I need something to do. Otherwise, my brain goes fucking haywire. I can't cope. It's horrible. So I edit videos every day, and right now I'm 3 weeks ahead of my Patreon, and I've now completed my next YouTube upload. But I'll still do more, because I'll get bored. I need work to take up my day so that I know when it's time to relax.
How many hours do you like spend editing a video, though? Especially if you know pretty well that it doesn't need much editing. Will you still fucking
Depends what it is.
Like, I'll sit through the whole thing normally, and then
you have to.
Yeah.
If you AI it and have all little spaces cut out, you miss little tiny nuances and little facial remarks and
I've
things.
I've not tried that AI thing yet. I normally just think
it's fine. It does work,
I seem to remember it being fine, but then
it is fine. But it's kind of it's kind of because
I tried to get one of
I
my mates
prefer to
edit.
know what I'm saying and what I'm doing, because at any point there's things that I edit out of my videos, like if I go and make that sound when I'm talking, I want that edited out of the video, because I notice when anybody else is doing a YouTube video and they go, and I was doing this thing and it was really, really good and it was really, really good, and that bugs the piss out of me. I don't want it in the fucking video, so I edit that shit out. So I use the AI thing just to get rid of silence, but then I find that a lot of the silence, I'm doing things that people need to see. If I explain it,
yeah,
you know, I might take 5 hours of video to do a job that I've charged somebody 3 hours for, because I'm not going to charge them more than that if it's not something massive elaborate. You know, when I did my my Type 96, Type 97, whatever the fuck it was, real sword thing, that took, if that was for a customer, that's 15 hours of work to do that.
yeah.
I'm not going to charge them that if it's a regular gun.
Yeah, by the time you've uploaded the YouTube video, it's just a net loss, isn't it? Very jealous of
Yeah,
that
exactly.
gun, by the way. I do like those. They are funky guns.
That's why I think they're really cool.
How did you come across that? Just secondhand?
I'd never had one. I'd never held one. I'd seen a couple at sites, but because I was managing, I was never on the chrono or in a place where I could get my hands on it. And anytime I would approach a customer, because I see one of those, I've never seen it before, someone else wants my attention. So I'm trying to do my job and make sure every day's fair. So I get a chance to see one or hold one. And this was offered to me. Hey, I noticed you want one of these. Would you like, you know, I've got one under my bed. It's got a spare gearbox. I want not a lot for it, because I'm not going to do anything with it. And I was like, fuck yeah, do it. So whatever price, if he'd have said 500 quid, I'd gone, yeah, fucking do it. If he'd have said 100 quid, I'd gone, yeah, fucking do it. But I bumped up a little bit. He said a price. I went, yeah, that's fair. But I think I paid him an extra 50 quid because I thought he was robbing himself. And that's how I got hold of it. And that was it. And I thought this would be really fun because no one else has got one of these. Not really. And no one does the shit that I do. People say they do the shit that I do, but no one else does the shit. It's like a fucking Vietnam War soundtrack in here today. It's pretty good, but I like it. But it's fucked up. And I wanted to do a video on it, so I thought, what can I do to fuck this up? And that was after Dickhead Face decided to try and use me to maintain his monetary income, and I wasn't going to have any of that, and that's why I took a shit on fucking Facebook live naked so that everyone could see me taking a shit, because honestly, fuck you.
Honestly,
I'm not here to make you money.
The timing of this, like all that, how else to describe it other than just drama? That's all it is. It's
drama. It's nonsense. It's people who don't give a shit about the other airsofters. They give a shit about the industry. It's people who only give a fuck about themselves and their own money and their house and their car. And that's not the way I live my life. Like, I could have a fucking mansion if I wanted to. Anyone could if they really put their mind to it. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need an easy, comfortable life. That's what I want. I want to not worry in 10, 20 years' time. In 20 years' time, I'm going to be nearly retired. Like, fuck me, I'm 44 next year. In 20 years' time, fuck me, time creeps up on you. And a lot of people don't recognize that factor. So, yeah, that's how that came about. So I just kind of went, well, I'll do whatever I feel like. I'll do whatever I think is good.
Yeah. It's more often than not, you be yourself. Don't sort of put on a false persona of, well, don't try and force something that's obviously not comfortable.
There is a massive false persona with negative airsoft, obviously. Like, there's a huge false persona.
You enjoy doing it, and it comes naturally.
It's very deep seated in me because this is exactly how I feel. It's exactly what I think, and I think it's the beauty of being a comedian like Jack D, who is he's a negative kind of person. And he had a lot of problems with alcohol and whatever, but he got over it. But his mantra has always been, I'll be as miserable as I can because it's funny. And I lived through the 90s. I grew up in the 90s where everything is miserable. Nothing was terrible. Nothing was good. So I'm miserable because it's funny. And that's why I like it. I get to be miserable as I want and complain as much as I want. And I get to go back into my house from my workshop. And I'm not miserable. I'm not unhappy because I've been pretending to be that miserable cunt all day, and it's funny. And if people laugh, great. I don't care if 60% of people think I'm a shithead cunt and 40% of people think I'm funny. That's the percentage I want. I'm being funny.
comes across as genuine as well. It's not like it'd be like me trying to put on a persona similar to yours. It just wouldn't fucking work, and I'd be lying from a mile away. And
other people have tried. There are a few other techs that have done it. There are a few techs right now that are trying to emulate the thing that I do, and they're perfectly good techs. I would never complain about anything they've done, but they're trying to resonate on something in people's minds and replicate something that other people are doing. And let's not piss down the fucking tentpole of facts. I'm absolutely doing what I know and what I love, and that is Beavis and Butthead, 1990s music like Garbage, and fucking AVGN. Angry Video Game Nerd is like this. If you look at the two, like what he does in those videos, it's a little bit cringy sometimes, but it's meant to be. And it's funny because it's so miserable and grumpy. And that's what I love. I love grumpy. I love miserable. I love it. I just love it. I watch The Bill for fun.
That's like depression. But have you ever thought about doing something different on the channel? Because obviously you do tech work all the time. Does it not get a little bit repetitive for you? Like, because
I would love to do horror film stuff,
but I have a really short fucking attention span. So I'm enjoying doing the podcast because I get to speak to new people quite often.
Yeah.
And it's like chatting with you. I can talk about the autistic things we both obviously enjoy doing, which is
I like it when we cut each other off because that makes me laugh because we both know we're doing it and we're doing it deliberately, accidentally, but it's fun and it's just kind of the way we are.
YouTube brain kicks in and we both sort of go,
yeah. The worst thing, if I don't get what I've got to say out now, I'm going to forget what it is in the next 5 seconds, and then I'm fucking lost in time. But then I'll remember it fucking 2 weeks' time. We'll do another video. And there it's gone. It's gone. Bang. Gone. Just gone.
Just like
fucking gone.
I mean, the way I started doing my channel originally, doing tech tips, after watching, do you remember how we discussed the airsoft tech? That chap. I confirmed we were on about the same chap. It is. He hasn't uploaded in about 3 years.
Yeah, and he's good. He's good.
I used to really like his content, the tech tips, or what he called tech tips. So I started doing tech tips. What I knew was, as far as I was concerned, correct. So I didn't do anything that could have been questionable, such as AOE or anything like that. I wanted to do simple things like wrap tape. You can use electrical tape to go around the barrel sometimes to prevent that wobble. Just simple little things. I did how to make a electrical jig with a micro switch, so you could run it through the gearbox and sort of dry fire test the rifle to test the shimming.
Yeah, I saw one of your videos the other day when you were asking a question, and I saw you doing it. And I was like, yeah, I've got the same thing, but my jig comes out the pistol grip, whereas your jig came out the front. Or sorry, out by the trigger. Out by the trigger. Yeah,
I've still got that jig. It's desperate for a rewire. All the fucking heat shrinks starting to crack, and I'm going, I should really spend some time doing that at some point.
But it's all about, do you tell other people to do that? No, because it's not the right thing to tell people. I wouldn't know all the things that I think is wrong. Like the things that I go, you're overcorrecting AOE, the PTFE tape around the hot rubber, and the electrical tape around the barrel. Like, there's nothing wrong with 2 of those things, and the AOE thing overcorrecting is bullshit because it literally makes the gun less efficient. But with the electrical tape and the PTFE tape, that is something that I would never have known to question and why are people doing this if I hadn't seen him doing it. Yeah. You need someone else to take big steps so that you can take big steps.
Exactly. Yeah.
Timothy Dalton was the best Bond, in my opinion. Timothy Dalton ran so that Daniel Craig could walk. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. It took 2 decades, but that's where we got to. Because I'm a Bond fanatic, and we all know it. And apart from Daniel Craig's film, apart from the first one, because the rest is shit, and I'm not going to go see fucking the last one because fuck off. And it is just kind of, you have to see somebody else's mistakes. Because I followed his videos. I looked at his videos. Well, I wonder what happens if I do that. And I found there was results that were good, but I found there was results that were so detrimental. I'm like, I'm using a lot more ampage with this method. And I'm going through more pistons with this method, and like the electrical tape and a spiral like a fucking barber's pole. There's nothing wrong with that if you get it right. But how many people, and tell me this, I'm not going to use that as an example, I'm going to go a little bit further with a standard scenario. A ZCI barrel, these little barrels that you get, that have got a little tiny indent around the muzzle end for an O-ring, and they supply O-rings.
Yeah.
How many times have you actually ever, and be honest, got the O-ring around the inner barrel, and then got the inner barrel and the hop unit down the outer barrel to a point where you thought, I might have just pushed the hop unit and bowed in the fucking hop rubber because it's too tight.
Or twisted
and
it.
These,
Sometimes if the clip isn't quite
yeah.
you put it in, you go, I've just twisted it. I'm going to have to look. You look down the receiver and you go, back out.
If I got a perfect product, my perfect product would be an aluminium clip that fits on the outside of the inner barrel in the hop unit, that fits every hop unit, that centers perfectly. But I do find that a lot of places, they're normally in the Czech Republic as well, they release on little tiny parts that do something, and you buy it, and it's only like £6 or £7. Who cares? And they don't work. It's like buying it's like buying one of these old person pullover masks from fucking AliExpress or Temu, and they put it on, and they go like that, and they look like Mrs. Doubtfire. But having done special effects for so many years in films and TV, and knowing how special effects and makeup effects work, there is no hood you pull on that makes you look that good. It doesn't work that way. And it's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. And I've never, ever, I don't think I've ever had a barrel where I put the barrel in the hop unit, the rubber, I've gone slidey. Is it springy? Yes. And I don't like O-rings. I like springy, and there's no reason for it. It's my preference. Neither are wrong or right. But the barrel just a bit too tight going in. And I don't like it, because I feel like, what if now I've just torn the hot rubber? I don't like it. And these are the things that we have to deal with. And I had to question his videos, like the electrical tape around the outside and the spiral. And other people did it. I think he was the first person that I ever saw do it.
He might have been.
It made sense. I went, that makes complete sense. Don't wrap it so it's tight, but spiral it. That makes sense. But then I found times where it wasn't right. And I realized you don't tell people, do this thing. Because that thing is never, ever, my wife loves anal. Your wife might not, you don't just go diving in willy-nilly. You don't do it because it's just not the right way to go. Highway to hell, that's fair.
It's the same with the hot rubbers. What I might recommend to one person won't be suitable for the next. It's the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
So a barrel wrap might not be suitable for certain builds.
Yep.
I've just had that same 249 that I trapped my fucking finger in this morning. It came to me. It was a HPA build.
Every 249, every single one of you stupid like us. We're both stupid.
But it was a silly mistake where he said I can't get the accuracy in, and I thought it's got to be the hot rubber. And then I realised about 2/3 of the way into the build, oh shit, the external barrel is so fucking loose that I can get the barrel and it knocks up and down audibly. You can hear it.
Even the bit that you cut out of your video is the bit I'm going to keep in mind, where I'm going to play the 2 girls 1 cup thing. Oh, I lost it.
You had to go back to the. I'm not going down.
It's okay. It's okay. No. Because I have spilt that on the seat, but it's okay because I'm going to get it. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
That's nasty.
Carry on.
Anyway,
that's nasty.
Fuck you! You've done it again. You bellend.
No.
Throw me off. What is that?
Wait, where's the one that's in my pocket? There's the one the bartender put in my pocket.
Gross, yeah, a little truffle in a
Christ. That's the one thing. I can't eat crisps and I can't open parent hybrid packets or truffles.
I've just got it in my brain.
I can't do it.
Like that. The tooth falls out.
Oh, I've just got my fucking ear bit as well, motherfucker. Hang on, wait. Go for it again. Don't cut it out because I'm an idiot.
As you're doing it, you rip the packet, tooth falls out, swallows the tooth, back to square one. But
how old are you again?
32.
Do you remember the old flake adverts on TV? Only the crumbliest, flakiest chocolate tastes like chocolate never. And there's like a chick in a tin bath or some shit, and she's like, only the crumbliest. And like, I really do want to do a sexy YouTube video where everyone I know that is in the industry does only the crumbliest. I can't even open the fucking only the crumbliest. Crumbly. I can't even open this motherfucker.
So you were saying, let me get back to it before I forget.
No. We're going to do the crumbliest. I want the crumbliest, flakiest.
If you were going to do another thing on YouTube, even if it was a separate channel, what would it be? Because I am
horror
intrigued,
films.
You said what? So what
horror films. Horror films. I love horror films, but I don't like new ones. Only the crumbliest, flakiest chocolate. Oh, this is chocolate. I've got another one in a minute. I love horror films. But not the new ones. I know everyone is kind of whinging about Terrifier.
I've not
but I'm glad that everybody who grew up at the same time as me, where we grew up with Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, and then it all went away. And then suddenly we had Ghostface, and they went away again. We had Hatchet, and it wasn't very good. But now we've got Terrifier. And Art the Clown, I get it. I get what they're doing. And new people don't get it. So horror film is my thing. I mean, let's face it. That's my new one from yesterday. Mm-hmm. You have to reverse that again. But, the dead walk. And that one there is literally the newspaper from Day of the Dead that blows up. You're saying but you've not fucking seen it.
No, I might have seen Day of the Dead. Is that the one where they're in the nuclear bunker, I think?
Do you know what? You're right. Yeah, underground bunker. Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Because I'm sure there's, the
credit where credit's due. Well done.
Do you know the band Gorillaz? Don't they have an excerpt from that in the first album? I don't know much about movies, but for some reason,
anybody there?
That's
Hello.
A banging song, by the way. I don't know.
No, you deserve every moment. You deserve every moment of this because you've impressed me more than anybody has impressed me for the last few years. Do you know what? Well fucking done. Yeah, absolutely.
It's only because my mate used to have a massive collection of like zombie movies, that sort of thing. And he just, including some of the Jason movies and things like that. And I just used to watch them because there's nothing fucking better to do.
I love it. I love that shit.
I'm not the most well versed on that sort of stuff, to be fair.
But you knew that. And even my wife doesn't know that. I like 2 tracks from Gorillaz, and that's one of them.
Let me preface this because I need to be clear. I like old Gorillaz. First album, second album. The rest can stylo on the third.
I didn't like it when they got screwed over. They were going to win an award. They made a multi-million-pound video, and they were like, "Oh, we made a mistake. You're not getting the award." And it's like we spent millions of pounds on a fucking video for our animated band. They were just going to win. They were going to win an award, and obviously, if you're going to win an award as a band that is completely animated, you need to make a video to accept your award. And they were told they were going to win, and they didn't win. And they've made this multi-million-dollar fucking video to accept their award, and they didn't win. And that was bullshit. M1A1. That's a great track. Yes. So I got that there from fucking Day of the Dead, which is my favorite Romero film. But then I've also got here, which is the There's No More Room in Hell, which is Dawn of the Dead. And then I've got my You Will Not Be Saved by the God Plutonium. And that is my actual favourite Carpenter film. Better than The Thing, better than Halloween. Or is it better than Assault on Precinct 13? Possibly. Prince of Darkness. I love my horror film stuff. So I'd be doing horror film shit. Because I love that crap. I love it.
Horror film shit. Would you reckon it'd be like making props and that how to do?
I did that
because I know you did all.
I did that
sort of because it's sort of you already have the knowledge, so you could almost do like a tech tips, but how to do gore effects, or would it be more like a movie review?
I like to talk about things in the film, things that I like. I don't want to discuss things that people like airsoft. I don't want to discuss I don't want to discuss things that people always know already. Like, how many times have you fucking seen videos where, did you know that during the filming of whatever fucking film, Leo DiCaprio actually cut his hand on the glass? And you're like, I don't give a fuck because he's an arsehole. I just don't like him and I don't rate him. I want to discuss things that people don't really discuss. Well. I reckon he is, yeah. We definitely, because of the last couple of weeks,
yes, that's on point.
Definitely can't go down the line of airsoft nonsense, because I will, because they're the worst people to exist, aren't they? But hey, we've got another one.
Yes, they keep fucking appearing, don't they? Straight into the wood chipper. Don't bother.
Yeah, we had good quote. I like it. I know where it came from. It's good. Only the crumbliest, flakiest chocolate. Only the crumbliest. No, I love horror film stuff. That's what I love. It's my thing. But I love, like everybody, not butt sex. What's the other one? Not butt sex. What's it? Pegging? No, it's kind of like that. 80s and 90s action films. Yeah, love that. Love it. I would love to discuss the best sounding gunshots on any film.
Yes. Or how often they have to reload, because shit like that. When you see the old 80s, 90s movies where it's just never-ending magazines.
The camera pans away to people dying and the dude shooting, Arnie and Commando. Sylvester Stallone at the end of Rambo 2, shooting on the computer. The camera pans away. He probably did it then. That's not a problem.
Yeah, obviously.
I want to discuss the best sounding gunshots. Hey, man. The best. I can be so frequently, everyone knows me. I'm going to film a podcast. Yeah, fine, go for it, mate. I'll do this all fucking night as well. You see that John Bon Jovi saying "Save Some Girl's Life"?
You keep stopping to sing, and I know for a fact the audio from the music won't come through on the podcast, which makes it
will on fucking mine, because I've thought this through.
That's it then. I'll leave it in your capable hands.
You know what? Everything is better in my capable hands. Hang on, wait.
Movies, 80s, 90s movies. Oh, that fucking... I actually don't like that song, because it's been so fucking overplayed.
I did when it came out, because I was there when it came out, and you've been about fucking 3 or something. You were an amoeba at that point.
Probably.
Aries. But no, the best sounding gunshots in films is my favourite thing. The best gunplay, because everyone goes, "Oh, Heat's so good," and it's like, yeah, there are 4 scenes in Heat that are really good with guns, and there's one other scene that hasn't got any guns at all. That's really good. But I'm going to say that more than half of the film Heat is absolute fucking boring wank, because it fucking is.
If I'm going to watch
can't sit through that shit.
I like John Wick, things like that, because you can tell Keanu Reeves actually put some fucking effort in. Have you seen any of the making of them movies where he's on the range doing all the different drills and shit like that? It's quite interesting. I take it you don't like it, by the way. You're doing a very slow sip.
I was going to drink out of a fucking peg then, you see that?
I was about to say, I'll stick it up your fucking nose.
Great big fucking straw. My problem with John Wick is that I am not backward enough to enjoy it.
Fair.
You know how when people get they buy their first airsoft gun and their airsoft kit and they spray paint a Punisher skull on it, and we all go, ugh.
Yeah, cringe.
John Wick is exactly the same thing. You watch, because we know
John Wick just as mindless movie, just action movie.
I can't do that. I can't turn it off. I can't turn my brain off. I can't do it. I can't turn it off. I can't do it, because there has to be. If you're going to turn off your brain and watch anything, just watch Coyote Ugly or Dirty Dancing or fucking some shit. If you can do that, watch that shit. My problem is that working in the industry and knowing and working with the people that I've worked with, I am basically sat here going, because I know what happens behind the scenes. And we know for a fact that and first and foremost, Keanu Reeves is quite possibly the greatest, nicest, most beautiful human being that's ever lived. We know that because we know it. Secondly, we know that his jiu-jitsu and all the things that he does is on point. We know that because we've seen it. We know he can do it. And that he doesn't want to do it because he knows how to, because he learned, because he had an interest in learning a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then thirdly, he went and did the exact same shotgun and pistol course and rifle course that every other cunt on YouTube has done, and it's not that special. But he's better than me, he's better than you, and he's better than anyone else I know. Fine. My problem comes with the fact that when they film the film, it's a rubber gun.
Yeah.
And they've taken the hammer and half the slide away because it's rubber and the rest of it's CGI'd. And all the gun flashes are fake. Mm-hmm. And that if you watch, I think it was the second one, the opening scene of the second one, you can see the jump cuts with the martial arts. And it's like, so is all this on the internet now just because of just to keep the momentum train going?
Yeah.
Is that all that's happening right now?
I'm no fucking fan of Hollywood anymore. It's just not what it used to be.
But John Wick, absolutely, it is the epiphany of fuck. Absolute fuck. Because he can do all of that, and he can do it. And everyone goes, oh, I hate Tom Cruise. I hate Tom Cruise. He's there. Tom Cruise, yeah, okay, he's mental. But he turns up, and I've met him, and he's turned up to places, and he delays the premiere for hours to sign autographs and do pictures, because he cares about that. He knows that's what's important, right? But then when you watch Collateral and the whole scene in the alleyway with the bang, 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 right? He practiced that for 6 months to get that perfect. They still filmed it on a soundstage and everything behind it is CGI. It's all blanks, but he can do that for real. And on the day, one take, bang, 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 and it was done. And it was good. And then you look back to things like Hard Target and Double Impact, which I think are the two films with the best gunplay for an actual full-on action film. I mean, Hard Target, that is the best gunshots you'll ever hear on film. When Van Damme is just jumping across the front of the car.
That you enjoy them? My most recent one that I've really fucking enjoyed, it's like ingrained in my brain, is Hardcore Henry. You know, the first person.
Oh, no.
Oh, that was fucking, that proper tickled my autism.
I appreciated what it did, but I
that South African actor,
20 minutes going.
Everything he appears in seems to be just consistently good.
Because he's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Chappie is just such a good. I know it's Short Circuit. Chappie's just Short Circuit, but it is fucking brilliant. And yes, you're absolutely right. He's brilliant, apart from the 18. And because no, but I struggle. I struggle with films. The most recent film I saw that I really loved, not loved, but I really went that I didn't get bored and I liked every moment, was probably Evil Dead Rises.
I've not
because
seen
that I could see how they did special effects, and trouble is when you've done it, you look at the way they're doing it and you can see like the children are crying blood, and there are laws that say you can't give children contact lenses and have blood come out their eyes. Like my actors and actresses would put fake blood in their eyes and cry it out, and they'd wear, you can't do that with a child. So I understand why they've got to use CGI and some of that stuff, but a lot of it was so good and so visceral that I went, yep, I get it. It makes sense.
Are you enjoying the playlist?
I'm loving the playlist.
This is my classic rock playlist.
There's not enough Spice Girls. I'm just saying. Oh my God, have you not seen my tattoo?
Okay.
Yeah, see. Spice Girls. Thanks, dude. Cheers.
I mean, I've very much given up on movies recently because I am
Me too.
a massive Jurassic Park nerd. I fucking love Jurassic, the first three.
Oh God, the first one's fucking brilliant.
On the new movies. Jurassic Worlds.
My rating My rating is Jurassic Park is just mwah. Lost World, the second one. I actually love it. It's not as good as the first one. I actually love it. The third one, no, I can't sit through it. Jurassic. What's the fourth one? The first one with Chris Pratt. What's it called?
There's Jurassic World,
Jurassic World.
Jurassic World, yeah. Jurassic World.
I left the cinema after seeing that, and that's the last one I ever saw at the cinema. That is the last one I saw at the cinema. But the last one I watched that film, and I felt like I felt in 1993 before you were alive, and I felt like that was. I saw that in the cinema numerous times, and I left the cinema every time knowing that I needed a pet velociraptor. And so when I saw, they knew what they were doing with that film, because when I saw that film, I knew after watching Jurassic World, I wanted a raptor. The motorbikes, the raptors.
The latest 4 movies, it's all just member berries. You know, do you remember this? Do you remember that? And you sort of going.
I didn't watch.
Yes, it's all callback.
There was Forgotten Kingdom, and then the next one, I did a gun, a prop, a Smith & Wesson M500 for that film.
Yeah.
And I made about 10 quid or something, £12.50 or some shit. I made nothing on that. I got no credit, but I made the fucking gun for the film. Cool. It is cool, but it's like I made like a tenner, and it's meant to be for Chris Pratt in a certain film with raptors, where he shoots a raptor underwater, and the producers and scriptwriters are like, he doesn't shoot raptors, he likes them. And Chris Pratt is like, no, it is. I want that gun. So I built that fucking gun. I made that gun. It went in the film, but in the film, it ends up in the hands of Ted Levine, who plays Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs, and he's got it, and he points it through a Jeep at Chris Pratt. That's the scene that gun is in that I made for that film.
Oh shit!
£12.50.
Cool.
£12.50.
Fuck's sake! That was almost.
It's literally a Tanaka cap gun. It's a Tanaka cap gun that I modified.
Shit, that's really cool. It's cool. It's like a strange claim to fame.
But I've done loads of guns for loads of films, and you make a pittance. But the person who you build it for, the shop you build it for, that then supplies it to the armourer that supplies it to the film, £300 a day profit, and that gun is still in circulation.
Fucking hell.
Nah, fuck that nonsense. I made £12. Fuck that. No way. I'm not doing. No, fuck this. No way. No way.
Yeah, that's almost criminal, isn't it? It is sad, but
yeah,
I don't know how
my mark has been on
movies.
So many films. You know
what? When we start the podcast, I thought we'll talk about airsoft stuff, deep teching things. We've talked about.
Yeah, but we both do that all day, fucking every day.
I know.
I don't. I'd rather talk about other shit.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, to be fair, sometimes it is nice just to hear waffling, isn't it?
Who doesn't like bumming? You know, much better.
Oh, fuck, you throw me off.
We all like bumming. It's fine.
We are just over the 2-hour mark, and I've got to go home at some point.
Oh, I've got to finish this.
I
can't even do another crumbliest, flakiest chocolate joke, but you know.
You have to have another one.
I will send you the link to the video so you can see only the crumbliest, flakiest. I'll send it to you so you can put it in there. Put it in the video.
Yeah. Are we going to plan another? Some point?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see why not. It's good fun. I enjoy this shit. It's funny. So
it's just fun. It's just really fun. I like fun.
I need to reach out to Sam and actually organise like a little proper.
He's very good. He's very good.
Maybe because I don't know. When's the best way to get hold of him? Is it Facebook or is it Instagram?
I just get him on Messenger or whatever. Because I've got a Messenger. Because if I need certain bits that he's got, blah, and if he needs certain bits that I've got, then blah, and that's it. Yeah. So
I like that sort of shit when you can actually just say, "Dude, I've not got any of these."
Yeah. All that stuff. I mean, I'm not had a piss yet. We can do Nemcast Court if I want to have a piss.
No,
I don't mind.
It's over 2 hours. I need to go sleep soon because I'm up at 4.
What do you do at 4 o'clock in the morning?
I've got 2 jobs. I've got to take the dog for a walk, sort the tortoise out, sort the animal. You know how it is. Fucking feed the menagerie.
You do have a tortoise, and that's very cool. I haven't got one.
Oh, he was poor last week. He just cost me nearly £1,000 at the vets. That made me really happy. But yeah, I have to get up at 4, get to work for 6, run the workshop, go out on deliveries, that sort of thing. Be nice to people because I do repping as well. Then I get back at 2 and have to.
What is your main job? I've never asked.
It's we supply. It's really fucking dull. We supply the screen printing industry. You know, if you like t-shirts and shit, it's It's not my original profession. I was a cabinet maker, and then I do welding and maintenance. I'm good with my hands. I'm shit.
But that's stuff that you can use, you know?
But it's my
I
family
worked in a
firm,
fucking
so
Burger King.
I'm sort of tied quite heavily to Peak Inks because it's the family firm. So I'm a director. My cousin's a director. I'm inheriting it from my dad. There's not much money in it. It pays the bills. This is why I'm having to work 2 jobs, because I can't walk away from one. I have enough to walk away and do Nemtac, but I can't because I'm sort of politically tied
Other people
in.
are reliant on you.
Yeah. And my missus
I'm
works.
lucky. I've never had that. I've never had that. My brother became a painter and decorator and handyman and whatever because my dad did, and my dad was like not world renowned. My dad did Buckingham Palace, you know. Then the demon drink got him, and that's the end of it. So my brother kind of followed that trade where he's happy working with his hands and doing manual labor, and I've got no fucking interest. I'm not interested, which is why I do whatever I feel like. So
I did what most people do. They finish school. I finished school early because I was thick as fuck, and I went, I don't know what to do. And my dad went, "You get an apprenticeship, go do joinery." I went, "Okay." And then I was a joiner for years.
Exactly.
I enjoyed it. I went to like a couple of competitions doing cabinet making and stuff. It was good, but I just didn't thrive on it. I didn't find my tism.
No, it has to be interesting. There has to be something that keeps your attention.
Yeah, very, very much.
I knew from the fucking, put this back in the video, I knew from the time I was 17, I guess, 16, 17, that I knew I wanted to be an amazing airsoft tech. That's what I knew I wanted. And I still don't feel that I'm amazing. I feel that I've learned enough that I can see things. But the amazing airsoft techs, the people that actually design the gearboxes, not the people who just copy a TM design, but the people who are actually amazing are the people who just work in mainland China, and they've developed a brand new gearbox that only fits things like the M240.
Airsoft, do they?
Exactly. They can't even have it, and they've developed this amazing thing. Their skills. I can't do that. You can't do that. No one in the UK can do that. We don't do that. We don't do it.
No, there's no need.
So
it's, I know exactly what you mean. It's
the real skill lies with the people that we whinge about. The real skill lies in the people in the Chinese factories who design a brand new gearbox shape that takes on, like a TM went version 2, version 3, some 5 and 7, I guess. I don't know. And they created new gearbox shapes to fit what they wanted to do. And that's good. But you've got people who are going, we need to fit all these parts into a gun that we're going to do a limited run of fucking M240 support guns. These people are fucking good. And they've taken other people's shit and squeezed it into a place it shouldn't be. And I think that is far more skilled than going, this is the thing that we're just changing it. We're going to stop doing that for a little while and do TM recoils. We're doing recoils and that. And then you've got Bolt who do it wrong. But then you've got people like, all these support gun gearboxes and PPSH gearboxes. They've taken this ready available stuff and they fitted it into a one-to-one design. It's skill. And they are way better than I could be. I just modify what they've done.
I mean, we shit on Aries all the time, rightfully so.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
They do have some fucking original designs. They have some really
exactly.
Shapes.
They've got original designs, but the trouble is the design doesn't hold up to the production value.
If they had far better QC and a better MOSFET that they used for fucking everything, that had
exactly.
at least programmability, they'd probably be much further ahead in the market than most companies.
I think my new thing is going to be trying to find an ETU that replaces the Aries ETU.
Yeah, I've considered that.
Because that would absolutely, in no other country would it matter. In the UK, I'll be a millionaire.
Even if you could repurpose, even if it wasn't the Amoeba gearbox, but say the RDB, for instance, it's got the sort of main control board, but everything else is micro switches.
Yeah.
You just get that main control board and just like the G.
But you've seen the Golden Eagle. This is good stuff to keep in the video, by the way. Suddenly we got back to airsoft and you're fucking tired because I'm drunk and fuck it. The Golden Eagle that is like 200 quid for an M4, and it is literally a pirate copy with lesser technology than the Aries, but it works better.
It's somehow better. I think it's probably because
it's not good, but
they've learned. They've sort of gone, right, these are obvious mistakes. Let's try and get rid of those. It's still sprinkling.
If you could take all the manufacturers and put them in a box or a little category, you'd go Aries, APS, Nutrol, stick them over here, and then Golden Eagle have stolen from all of them and gone here. And then everyone else who'd gone, we're going to carry on doing our own thing, and we'll rely on Perrin, Gates, Jeftron, all these people, T238, put shit inside our guns. They're the smart ones.
Yeah,
the people in the middle, they've done nothing, but they've got it right. And the people on this side have done the cheapest. They've gone the cheapest method with the shittest thing, but they designed it. And it's very hard when you think about it that way to shit on those people because they've done more than I fucking did. They've done more than you've done.
Yeah, rightly so. I used to shit on G&G all the time. I used to fucking hate
Me too. And now,
bench. What's up with it? Let me guess. The MOSFET's fucking blown. Oh right, yeah, of course it fucking has. MOSFET out. Oh,
the trigger unit works, right? Yeah. The electronics is the bit that's wrong.
Exactly. And then you take it out, and there was gold dust all over the gearbox from them shitty brass bushings. And now they've stepped the game up a bit, and they're not really a problem. And they just dropped off my radar. It's not the fact I don't like them anymore. They're actually all right, but
the G2 gearbox components are better than the previous G&G stuff, right? Their hop unit is better. Everything is better in the G&G. Because Metallica said do. The G&G. The G&G stuff is better, right? Give me a second. Yeah! Right. The bit that everyone goes
824.
Right. Anyway, so I know, right? So
bear with me.
but all the internals in the G&G G2 is better.
Yep.
The casing is fucked. The casing is wrong.
I've got to answer that question before I forget. These are those ones
it's not. Yep. Oh yeah.
And it's the ones with the screws on the opposite side.
Yep.
Before I forget.
But they work. It's terrifying the first time you see them. When you realise if you got the build right, you just flip it over like a pancake and you're okay.
Yeah.
There are chefs who can't flip over a fried egg, and like that's all you got to do. It's the same thing. So, they're good gearboxes. They don't fucking break.
I will applaud them on their M14 effort. What are your thoughts on the G&G M14? Have you had many across?
I hate it. Because the ETU, first of all, the MOSFET doesn't work. We know that. The ETU, you need to be able, if it breaks down, we know the ETU part, the bit inside the gearbox and outside the gearbox works. We know that. If it breaks down, can you get a spare?
Yes, you can. You can use the ETU plus from Perrin.
No. So the MOSFET end, ETU plus, right?
Yeah.
Attached to the outside of the L85 and attached to the outside of the M14, can you get spares of button brakes? No, you can't.
There is that, I suppose.
And that's a problem.
Fairness, I remember the old.
I can make anything fit anything. I'm going to cut you off because I've got a really valid point to make. I can make anything fit anything. Can you fit 13-to-1 gears in an M14 by TM, SEMA, A&K, Carts, all these companies? Cart, you wouldn't. This is before your time. No. Like, you can't get an ETU for that. So you're stuck with the fact you want an M14 DMR, you have to build a thing. And when I do M14 EBRs and M14 DMRs, I build a button because there is a loophole in the law. Like every law, there's a loophole. The loophole in the law is the velocity of the projectile, right? If there's no projectile, are you over the power limit? No. So, if I want to unlock an M14 DMR, which has no ETU, SEMA, TM, JG, CART, AGM, what do? You flick to full auto, right? I've done a thing, and again, it's because Sam from Kingdom of Airsoft said it, and I went, that's a good idea. And so now, if I get a semi-lockup, I've got a separate button that lives in the Mac well, because Sam said it.
Mm-hmm.
I take the mag out, I empty the rounds out. If there's no projectile, there is no law.
Yeah, so you can put it to
so I can press a button and off it goes.
I'm with you.
Right?
I'm picking up what you're putting down. That's a good idea. Again,
exactly. This is Sam. It was a throwaway comment he made to me in Messenger. We're chatting away as we always do, and it was a throwaway comment, and I went, "That's brilliant."
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you lock the mag in and it gives the press button, wrong. We can take the mag out, and then it only does semi-auto, but you can press a button, and you're not pulling the trigger, but you just press the button, and it kicks out that last round. You can unlock it, and back in you go. What's to say you can't do that in the stock of the gun? Well, you put your finger on the stock of the gun and fire full auto. In the mag well, you've got to take the mag out.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And that's what I've been doing. Right?
The airsoft
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't want my customers to be skirting on a grey area.
No.
As much as it's factual, I don't want that. So the G&G M14, does it take regular V2, V3 parts? Yep. Can I put high-speed gears in it? Yep. Is it the best design so far? Nearly. Because how many proprietary parts does it have that I can't fucking replace?
This is the problem,
Too many.
Because no matter what you do, especially like an M14, fucking cool gun. I love an M14. And I've had I've got a couple of Simons in bits under my fucking bench. Just because, when the trigger unit.
You were going to go to bed 20 minutes ago. Isn't that funny?
No, it's not that. I've got another podcast to record. He's all right. He stays up till fucking late.
Who is it?
It's Elliot. I've started. So we'll reverse back to trying to manage my time.
Pump it. I put it on my channel. Pump it.
I've started off Nemcast After Hours, where I've got sponsored players where I try and alleviate some of the pressure off me because I'm struggling with time management.
Oh, you're being selfish. No, that's fine. I'm selfish too.
Well, my missus is going, "You're at work all the time." Going,
oh my God. Your face when I said that was like, I accept it, but I'm not happy about it. Carry on.
Well, my missus says to me, "You're at work all the fucking time." And it's, I'm like, well, yeah, rightly so. I need to spend more time at home. I've got an 8-year-old. I can't live at work. As much as I'd like to live at work, I need to be a dad.
I've got a 9-year-old lizard. Does that count?
Close enough. Now he's on technology. He may as well be a fucking lizard. He'll happily sit on his Xbox all day if I don't shout at him. But I've got sponsored players to try and alleviate some of the pressure off me because I haven't got time to do a post once a week on social media or upload to YouTube all the time. I found it's absorbing loads of my fucking time. So what I've got Dom and Elliot to do is run Nemcast After Hours, which is just a quick sort of like a half-hour podcast at a time, and they can just keep the algorithm ticking over so people don't go on the YouTube channel and think he's not uploaded for a month. And then, I'm not going to come back.
I'll do this every week if it helps you. Keep this out the fucking... Don't let them think I'm nice. Come on now. I'll do this every week if you fucking want it, if it helps you. I'm all about helping people. That's what I do. So
when I reach out to people to speak to them, it's because I enjoy the podcast. I really fucking thrive on this for some reason.
I love chatting to people. I love having fun. I'd be doing this if you weren't on the other side of that fucking computer and we've never fucking met in real life ever. Like, I'd be chatting to people in the fucking bar. It's just fun. This is what you do.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and especially when it's about airsoft, where like me and you, we can pretty much chat tech stuff most of the day. It has its limits to how much fun you can have, but you're happy to do it. And I really like to meet new people in that regard as well. And that's what I enjoy. But I got the after hours thing to do just to try and alleviate some pressure off me because I just can't keep fucking doing it all the time. It just gets a bit much, especially.
You've got a real person job. I don't have a real person job. I've got 3 jobs, not real person jobs. I'm totally having a piss right now. It's going to happen.
There's nothing new.
I know, but on my version, on my video, there's going to be absolute piss.
I can't talk to anyone like that. I'd get stage fright and nothing would happen.
Oh, not me. Oh, jeez. I can make it worse. I farted. Oh, a piss and a fart is glorious. It really is glorious. You know, it's one of those wonderful things.
Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this bit to wrap up the podcast because it's funny.
You should. Like no one has. Every single guy has a piss at the bar where they go, "Oh God, I've never seen the ceiling in a bar before," because they've had so much to drink and fucking hell, that's a good piss. I'm still going.
Or you look up and you realise people have been wiping the nose or wiping bogies on the wall, and you go,
"Why did he do that?" Again, I worked in a service station for 10.5 years whilst I was running an airsoft site and fucking all that shit I do. And it's bloody bogies. It's never a normal bogey, is it?
It's just grim.
It's a bloody bogey.
About cleanliness, and I can't. It's
just worse than that. The best graffiti I've ever seen in my life. Right, I love some graffiti. There's one of my tattoos got the graffiti. Right, I love graffiti because if someone's going to be racist, you think, what a cunt. Right, you're just a fucking cunt. And if someone's got something to say that is like in Reading, you might never see this, but Google it. It's worth it. On the side of what we used to call the African Club, there was a huge mural at Muriel. What's the word? I'm pissed. Muriel. And basically, it was everybody almost from history, but everyone. So it could be Africa, it could be Egypt, which is Africa, and it could be all these places. And it's just these wonderful, just beautiful painted pictures. And it was just nothing but all these wonderful faces. It's amazing. It's still there. And it's now recognized in Reading as a beautiful, like, this is important to our culture. And it's my favorite thing in Reading. I'll find a picture, I'll send it to you so you can fucking plop it like right there in the corner like that. It's amazing, right? But there are other things in Reading we have to think about. And that is having a really good piss.
Fuck. I need to wrap this podcast up because
it'd be boring, wouldn't it? Have you had any lunch today?
No, I've a fork. I'm like dying.
I've eaten fuck all, but that's why alcohol exists, all right? Something of pussy.
Yes, liquid lunch. This is a problem I have with teching as well as when to stop. But I'm going to do that in the next podcast. I'm not doing it now because we'll get pulled off on a fucking side. It's all right.
I know I turned it off to make a point.
Right. Anyway, let's wrap this shit up.
Enjoy.
So Luke's been to the toilet, as is tradition.
Yeah.
Now, apparently.
It was really good. Really good.
Thanks for coming on again, Luke. It's been good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it as always.
But there was a point I was trying to make and I forgot what it was, and that's why I turned the fucking camera off.
I'm wrapping it up now. Anyway.
Okay. Look, the urinals are flushing, look.
Ooh, fancy. Don't forget to take one of them free urinal cakes home. They're called cakes because they're treats.
You have to take a really good little swat. I just fucking did that. That's a real thing.
You did, didn't you? Anyway, thanks for watching the episode. If you made it all the way to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below. And don't forget to check out Luke's channel. And as always, see you in the next one. Cheers, chaps.